All right, drivers, we have a list of crashes getting in the way. How about if we start on I-24, my favorite, eastbound near Harding Place in Antioch. How about I-65 northbound at 2465 North? That's going to be on the North Loop. Then Mount Juliet got a crash involving injury, 40 eastbound before Mount Juliet Road. That's exit 226. Talbot's Corner still got a crash, right shoulder block, 65 south now near the northern split. And in Hermitage got a crash, on-ramp partially blocked, 40 eastbound from Stewart's Ferry Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome in. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day and another week. Happy to have you with us on this Monday, November 17, 2025. When did it become the middle of November? My goodness gracious. Before you know it, it'll be 2026. My gosh, the year is just flying by. It is episode 926 of our gatherings together, and I'm appreciative of every single one of those. Thank you for being a part of today. Whatever time you're able to give us, whether it's 5 minutes or the full 4 hours, we are appreciative. We're appreciative of Jackson Williams behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. We'll speak to him in a moment. We're also appreciative of Ken Weaver, whom we'll speak to in a moment, who's back in News Closet B. You can find us on a variety of platforms, obviously 99.7 FM. That's the radio dial. Many of you listen that way. You can hear us from, Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between in Middle Tennessee. You can also find us and carry us wherever you happen to be on planet Earth on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart. We have our own app, SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. Just download that and take us wherever you want to go. And then there's Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. Join us over on Talk TV for you masochists in the listening audience that want to watch the sausage made. Give us the old like, subscribe, thumbs up, etc. Hey, Jackson, what's the title of the show today?
Matt, watch the worst movie of all time.
Man, that is so true. And I'll give you my Matt Murphy movie review. It was my punishment movie for not fulfilling our duty and watching my movie from last weekend. So I had to watch the movie from last weekend, which I watched, which was good. And then I had to watch my punishment film. And if you're not familiar with any of that, that comes up in the 6 o'clock hour. It's awful. Did you watch your movie?
I did.
Okay. I don't want to know. Don't tell me yet. Don't tell me yet. Tell me later.
Is that?
Not now, later. Wait a minute.
Is that Ken Weaver?
A vacation trader is back among us. His name is Ken Weaver. He was off for a couple of days last week. How was it, Brother Weaver?
It was great. How about you boys?
How's it going, Ken Weaver? Did you have a good weekend?
I had a great weekend.
Did you? What'd you do this weekend?
I ate a whole bunch of steak. And some cookies. And spent time with my family from Oklahoma. And we watched the Oklahoma Sooners somehow beat Alabama by amassing only 212 yards of total offense.
Listen, what did the scoreboard say there, Ken?
Says 23-21.
That's what I saw, too.
Got
23-21.
Hey, that kicker, man, that kid's something
that
else.
kid can wear any kind of shorts he wants, man. Let me tell you. Those little britches are weird looking, but whatever. If you can bomb 55-yarders, let's go. I'd take him. Hey, wouldn't you take the little kid wearing those little shorty shorts on the Vols team there, Jackson? I think you would. I think you would. Hey, Jackson.
Yes.
In the spirit of camaraderie and fellowship.
This will be good.
As we start the show today on this Monday, and we kind of, we reflect on the weekend as you do. And I'm going to find out how your weekend was in just a moment, Jackson. But in the spirit of camaraderie and fellowship and love for our man, Ken Weaver, if I give you a boomer, will you give me a sooner?
Sure.
Okay. Ken, this one's for you. Boomer!
Sooner!
There you go, Weaver! That's all we got.
At Neyland, I loved it. There was this dude, down there by the concessions.
And he had to ruin it, didn't he?
Well, he was goading Sooner fans into answering him. So he'd say Boomer, you'd hear a couple of Sooner, then he'd say, "Go home."
As he should.
That's pretty funny.
I didn't fall for it.
Hey, Jackson, y'all whip up on the Little Sisters of the Poor this weekend?
New Mexico State, 42-9.
There you go.
Disappointing.
Disappointing victory?
Yes.
Why, you wanted more?
They looked horrible. They looked awful.
Okay. Well,
They just weren't showing anything.
Big
Brother
bounce
Jackson.
back this weekend in the swamp.
Whew, it's going to be a big one down there.
y'all are
man.
going to whoop up on the Gators. I think it's your time.
I think so, too.
You know the last time Tennessee beat Florida in the swamp?
I know it's been a long time. I'm going to try to give you a legit guess here. Ken, you got one? I can't.
The early
2000.
2000s?
Yeah, 2003.
That's exactly right.
Is that a guess? As a guess.
That's
Complete
exact-
guess.
I was 3 years old.
Yeah, you got it. You got it this weekend, I think.
I think so.
You think Lane Kiffin's going to be down there watching the game?
Maybe.
You never know.
Scouting.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know. LSU might pull Lane. I mean, who would
his
be?
family's touring there today, Ken.
You know,
Is he really?
Jackson, that's fake news.
That is not fake news.
He's trying to pass that crap off in the office earlier today, kids.
It's CBS Sports.
Oh, did they show the picture of the LSU plane that doesn't exist? I
No,
saw
but they
that
tracked the plane.
one. Okay,
It's a real plane, Matt. I've done this before.
what?
Tennessee coaching search. You
Oh,
follow
that's
that
true.
plane.
That's true. See, Georgia fans, we're not accustomed to it because we've only had like 3 coaches in the last 20 years or something like that. So, or no, actually, 30 years. Okay, I trust you.
I don't
believe
think
in you.
Kiffin's going to go to LSU
I don't
because
think so either.
they fired their athletic director too.
I don't think. I think Kif, if he goes anywhere, he goes to Florida. I don't think he goes anywhere. So,
I'd stay at Ole Miss.
but apparently, Ole Miss. The rumor that I did hear while we're talking a little sports on the news talk station, apparently, what I did hear was that Ole Miss is kind of telling Kiffin, if you make any sort of agreement to go anywhere else, you're not coaching us for the rest of the season, even if we're in the playoffs.
really,
And that's
strong.
That's
boy.
that's gutsy. That's like an onside kick with, 14 minutes to go in the fourth quarter
Yes.
after you just scored a touchdown. I don't know who would do that, but anyway. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. I enjoyed the Tennessee Titans
Goodness.
yesterday, and I got looked at funny. Aren't we? Am I doing it wrong that at this stage in the proceedings, at 1-8, the best course? I mean, nobody wants to lose, but. Look, I've never lived in an NFL town before. I rooted for the Falcons, and that was just a lifetime of disappointment. And then I come to Tennessee, and I get here in 2021, and the Titans are in the playoffs, and I think, all right,
Finally.
I've got it. I got a team that knows how to get in the playoffs and get something done, and then we have been crap ever since. So I blame myself.
Brother Jackson knows.
I mean, you know what it's like to win?
No, I only know pain.
Yeah, but Brother Jackson, what about should they just lose out and get a better
Right.
draft pick, or what should they do?
So what should my attitude be? Because toward the end of that game, I'm like, that's fine. Just go ahead and kick the field goal and win this game, and that's better for us.
Your attitude should be find something better to do with your Sundays.
Well, a lot of people did because that stadium was not even half full, and I'm sad to note it.
Martin Cove was there from Cobra Kai.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Kreese was there.
What?
Yeah, he posted a selfie of himself.
You know who else was there?
Who?
Big time listener of the Matt Murphy Show and Super Talk 99.7 WTN, I'm told.
Oh, really?
Trace Adkins.
He was there, yes, doing something for veterans, of course.
That's exactly right. He did the halftime show and reunited a family with a husband who was overseas.
man.
It was very, very cool to watch that at halftime. That was reason enough to be in the stadium. But, I'm sad to note that it was only about half full. So,
That's too bad. Well, we'll fill it up whenever we get this new one built.
Oh, man, that new one looks ginormous. I mean, next to the neck, I thought Nissan Stadium was ginormous. And that new thing dwarfs it, Ken. I mean, up close, it is in.
I need to get over there. I haven't seen it up close.
Oh, man, and now that they've got it all boxed in and it's to its height,
Yeah.
right? It is huge. I mean, it feels like you could, and obviously with the seating arrangement and the ring on top or whatever, but you could take Nissan Stadium and just sit it inside the other stadium.
Interesting.
Little breaking news, boys.
Yeah, what's going on?
Virginia Tech and James Franklin
have come to
an agreement for him to be the school's next head coach.
Really?
Man.
Franklin headed to the ACC.
I don't know who I feel worse for. I mean, seriously.
He's a good recruiter. He'll do well at Virginia Tech.
I mean, but he can't. If he can't win, I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, I think
he's like the best coach in Vanderbilt history. Virginia Tech's about on that level. But
no, wait. No, say that again. Say that again.
He's like the best coach in Vandy history.
And number 2 would be Clark Lee.
Yeah, or Johnny on the Spot. They had
Johnny on the
back
Spot
in the 1960s or whenever they were good.
Oh yeah.
Back when nobody remembers.
My name is Colonel Johnny Wallbanger. I'm the head coach of the Vanderbilt Commodores. Anchor down.
Johnny Wallbanger.
Coach Wallbanger here.
He
Let's run that power eye, boys.
was apparently from Maine.
I don't know why.
That was Matt's alter ego back in the day.
I don't know why they hired a Yankee to coach those Vanderbilt Commodores, but that.
Oh, time for practice. Come on, boys.
Let's pop 2 there, fellas. Let's run a 40. See if we can get it down below 10 seconds. I don't know.
I wonder what was the best 40-yard dash, 40-yard sprint back in college football back in the 60s. I wonder what the best one was. Probably like 5.5.
5.5.
I want to watch one of them, watch the guys who play today.
Coach Wallbanger with the Commodores. Fellas, I've got an introduction to you. It's something, a newfangled interaction on the field. We call it the forward pass. Yeah. Get those leather helmets on, boys, and let's try it out. They're good this year. They're going to whip up on the Vols.
Somebody's going to take that coach.
What,
Somebody's
Lee?
taking that coach.
Yeah, I would feel. I mean, with all these openings.
I hope not
too. I don't know how Lee. I don't know how you don't.
LSU.
Yeah, probably.
They'll snatch him up.
Or Auburn will try.
Yeah.
I mean, Auburn will give it a go. There's a lot of teams in the SEC that want some of that. But good for James Franklin. We feel good for him. There's Sports on the Talk Station. Monday edition of the Murphy Show. Early voting is on in District Number 7. There's a Van Epps. Have y'all seen this Van Epps attack ad? I'm going to try to pull it up on my screen and play it for you. It's pretty funny. It's from a liberal organization that I'm told is also supporting a third-party candidate in the race, a third-party candidate that we are welcoming to the show tomorrow. John Thorpe is running as an independent. I think he had his hat in the ring briefly as a Republican. He's now running as an independent. He is a new face and a new voice to politics in the state of Tennessee. And we will speak to Mr. Thorpe. I believe he was on Chris Hand's show last week. We'll have him on tomorrow and talk to him about his decision to run in the 7th Congressional District and why he believes he's a superior choice to Matt Van Epps or to Afton Bain. I have repeatedly reached out to Afton Bain regarding her appearance on this show, repeatedly reached out to Afton Bain regarding her commitment to do a debate with Matt Van Epps. The Van Epps people have not agreed to it either. I don't know that it would necessarily benefit her. I tend to agree with my good friend and colleague Cameron Smith in this regard. If the Democrats were serious at all about winning the 7th Congressional District seat, Afton Bain would not be acting like the most liberal human being on planet Earth. But she is. She's acting not as a progressive, not even forget moderate. She's not even acting like a progressive. She's acting like a socialist. She's inviting people in here like Jasmine Crockett. This is all performative garbage. She's going to lose by 15 points if the people get out and vote, because that district's not blue, y'all. And you're not running for mayor of Nashville. You're running for the 7th Congressional District. All of this is performative nonsense. And I think the Democrats know it. Or they're just not very smart. I mean, if you had anyone with any intelligence whatsoever that understood elections, you would look at the 7th Congressional District and let's say you're dealt the Afton Bain hand. You pull her in and you say, you have to act like a moderate. You can't act like a socialist. You can't invite Jasmine Crockett into the damn state of Tennessee and think you're going to win an election.
And then she didn't even show.
And then Crockett didn't even show up, didn't even bother to show up. And I got booted out of that town hall, Ken. Were you still here when that? Yeah, they told me I had a seat, and then they told me I didn't have a seat. Very upset about it. Anyway, we'll talk about it, but here's the thing. Afton has doubled and even tripled down on socialism during the course of this election cycle, and she's going to get her butt handed to her if the people show up and if there's not confusion about Matt Van Epps and the importance of selecting Matt Van Epps. No offense to John Thorpe. I'll let him make his case tomorrow afternoon. I'll give him free rein to do so. And then there's Jody Barrett. Jody Barrett went on News Channel 5 recently. I like Jody. Nice enough guy. We've had him on the show plenty of times. Would invite him back if he came into my studio right now. I'd sit him down and we'd have a great conversation and it would be friendly. But Jody still has his butt all in a bunch about what he thought was owed to him. Jody, you got your butt handed to you, too. Matt Van Epps, in a field of 10 people, got over 50% of the vote, man. That is a thrashing. That is a thrashing. And Jody says, oh, it was all special interest money. Well, you're not going to, I've got the audio, I've got the video, I'll play it for you in a moment. You're not going to talk about the special interest money that benefited you. That's fine. If you want to complain about special interest money, that's fine. But if you complain about special interest money and expect that I'm not going to call out your hypocrisy, you got to mention the $350,000 that came directly from Washington, D.C. that benefited your campaign. You can't have it both ways, pal. You can't omit all that money that helped you and grump and complain and moan and you know what about the money that helped your political opponent and not have somebody raise their hand and go, hey, wait a minute, what about the money that, oh, well, we're not talking about that right now. Holy, it reminds me, the old school scene in Casablanca, a movie that Jackson Williams has never seen. I am shocked to learn that there is gambling going on in Casablanca. You're winning, sir. Oh, thank you very much. Y'all remember that scene? That's Jody Barrett. Jody Barrett's shocked to find out that there's special interest money coming from Washington, D.C. Oh, here, sir, here's all the special interest money that helped you. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I mean, it's stupid. But we have that for you a little bit later on. Michelle Obama does not like America very much. I've got some clips on that today. I'm very, very upset about Christmas decorations. I'm going to tell you why coming up in a couple of minutes. The CMA Awards are this week. That's good. That's great, isn't it? Snag up traffic. That's awesome. Mm-hmm.
You're on fire, dude. You are on fire.
You think that, hey, y'all think that Jelly Roll is going to be there?
You bet he is.
You think he'll come by the station?
That'd be great.
I mean, he lives down there on Music Row, right? They all do. Don't look at me funny like that. All the music people live right over there on Music Row. Everybody knows that, Jackson. Come on. That's why they call it Music Row. All the musicians live right over there. That's for those watching on TV.
That's right behind Brother Murphy.
Music Row's that way.
Yeah.
We are on the ass end of Music Row.
We're where they don't live.
Yeah, we're right behind the dumpsters. It's us and Keith Urban. That's that. And by the way, that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. It's us, the dumpsters, and Keith Urban right here. It's awesome. No Nicole.
No, sir.
Yeah. You know about that, Jackson? You look confused.
I'm totally confused on everything you've said in the last probably minute and a half.
Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman used to be an item. Jack, you know who Nicole Kidman is?
Actress.
Yeah, actress. And they split up.
Masha.
Very sad. Masha. Wait, what's that from, Ken?
8 Perfect Strangers, something like that.
Yeah.
I freaking love that show.
I remember her in that old Eyes Wide Shut. That was a weird one.
That was a weird one.
Take off your clothes. No, sir. I'm just going to leave. Thank you. Yeah. I think I can find my way on out. Have you seen Eyes Wide Shut, Jackson?
Have Brother Jackson.
It's on the list, boy. You didn't know. You wanted to lie and say yes, didn't you? That's a good one. All right, yeah, I'm on fire. I'm all over the joint today. It's going to be a good show. 25 after the hour. Give us a call, 615-737-9986. If you want to talk about any or all of these things, we are happy to do so on the Matt Murphy Show. Hello, friends. I am on fire for you to make this telephone call. You know, it's the middle of November, but you still have time before the end of the year to get yourself in shape for those holiday parties through Contours. Folks, Contours is such a wonderful, wonderful concept, and I've never heard anything like it. But when I met Keith and Stephanie and the rest of the crew at Contours, man, oh man, I was so excited. And now I am a testimony to how much it works, right? So if you are new to the show or haven't heard about us talking Contours, they are a medical-grade red light technology. It reduces body fat naturally using your own natural processes. I heard Dan talking about it, heard Chad talking about it. I went in and I had over 2.5 inches off of my midsection on the first treatment. And they guarantee that you'll lose over 2 inches or your first treatment is free. Fat loss with no incisions, downtime, or pain or complications. They can explain it to you, but it works. And for $99, they have a Belly Buster special running right now. Plus, when you go in and you get the Belly Buster special and you see how much it works, ask them about the Murph. It's a brand new special. We try not to call it a package. We don't want to talk about my package. We want to talk about the special that is the Murph. Go to ContoursLLC.com. That's ContoursLLC.com. What do you have to lose but inches? Call today, 615-236-9960. 236-9960.
.330 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Looks like Channel 4 is tracking thunderstorms for Tuesday. We'll have to tell you about that and the full traffic report coming up in 5 minutes. President Trump repeating his intent to give some Americans a tariff dividend. He says it's going to be thousands of dollars for low income and moderate to middle income. He says individuals sometime in the middle of next year. And as for the national debt,
we're going to pay down debt. We have a lot of money from tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, this nation would be in serious trouble.
full SNAP benefits being restored for Tennessee families this week. The Department of Human Services says remaining November funds are hitting EBT cards starting today, and anyone still waiting should see their full amount in the next few days. Officials confirm December benefits will arrive on the usual schedule. And prices for many popular weight loss drugs expected to come down for some customers. Novo Nordisk announcing a 30% drop for Wegovy and Ozempic for those who don't use insurance to pay for it. The price will now go to $199 a month for the first few months, then go to $349 a month after that. We get more from ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula.
In the U.S. alone, there's close to 100 million people living with obesity. Making these medications more affordable could help millions with obesity-related illnesses, including chronic kidney disease, MASH liver disease, and cardiovascular disease.
And the U.S. Supreme Court says it will consider the Trump administration's bid to reinstate a policy of turning back asylum seekers at border crossings. It comes after an appeals court declared the policy unlawful. Here's reporter Devin Dwyer.
If they roll back the Ninth Circuit's decision, it'll give Donald Trump another tool in his immigration toolkit to keep out migrants at the southern border. Immigration advocates say this defies federal law and the spirit of the United States by denying people who are undergoing persecution in their home countries even the chance to be heard. And they say that's what federal law requires. But again, the Supreme Court expected to look at this early next year and decide it by the end of June.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got crashes in the way on your way home over here on the North Loop, 65 northbound at the northern split. Talbot's Corner, an accident, right shoulder block southbound there at the northern split. And then in Antioch, 24 eastbound near Harding Place. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. We are entering official cold and flu season, right? Middle of November, you get the sniffles, you get a little bit of cold, God forbid the flu. Well, if this happens to you, you need a location, a medical facility, a primary care provider that puts you first, that cares about you, that doesn't make you wait for weeks on end to get in to see the doctor, and that's Grace Point Healthcare. Plus, they're never going to allow the insurance company to get in the way between you and the right decisions made between yourself and your doctor. That's why Grace Point is a direct pay facility. You know exactly what you're paying right up front. Plus, if you enroll in the Smart Care plan, which is $99 a month, you don't pay anything for your office visits. Plus, you get free basic labs and diagnostics. That's all year long, friends. $79 for the youngsters, and you can pay for that out of your HSA account, which is pretty nice as well. At Grace Point, there's not long wait times, whether you're in the Smart Care plan or not, whether you're a new patient or not, and they treat everyone from newborn to seniors. I just recommend you go and you try out Grace Point, talk to these guys, and I promise you'll figure it out. Grace Point Healthcare is the superior primary care provider. 599-6868, 599-6868. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Yeah. What's going on? Matt Murphy Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being around. 38 minutes after the hour. Jump on board, 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. You can also hit us up on the Super Text line if you do not wish to call, although I love the dialogue aspect of you giving us a call. Absolutely love talking to the callers of the show or talking to the listeners of the show that become callers of the show. That's always good. You can also hit us up on the Super Text. However, if you're a little bit of the shy sort. I did get hit up on the Super Text line. This is my favorite Super Text so far today. And I love you, 0532. Thank you for responding. Thank you for listening. 0532. Matt, all the musicians live in Franklin and Brentwood. Music Row is just the business end of things. Thank you.
Did you actually think this is where they lived?
No, I'm just kidding. It was a joke. I was joking. I was just funning.
You was just funning.
I was just having fun. And, oh, by the way, some of the old school musicians still live in Hendersonville. Hey, you missed our conversation with Ricky Skaggs, Ken.
Man.
And I know. You worked with Brian, and Brian and Ricky are buds.
Yeah, they're good buddies.
They're good friends, but it's my first chance. We talked to him on the phone a few months ago, and I had a chance last week.
I was here for it.
Were you here for it?
Yes, sir.
When on the phone call?
Yes, sir.
He came in.
Oh, man.
He stopped by.
When?
Stopped by, what was that, Friday? Yeah, Friday. He stopped by around lunch on Friday, and we pre-recorded something and aired it Friday night. So y'all can check that out on YouTube. We isolated that interview on YouTube, so you can find it on the Super Talk page. It was
Ricky
a great
Skaggs,
man. What a great. And I was I don't get starstruck very much, but Ricky Skaggs is a direct line of a genre of music, right? He took a torch from Bill Monroe. And I know there are many others. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking all of the Ralph Stanley and all of the and Flatt and Scruggs, all the rest of the bluegrass boys. Don't get me wrong, and girls. But Skaggs, at the age of 5, started playing on stage with Bill Monroe and has taken that bluegrass, mantle and gone with it. I mean, I'm just fascinated. And I asked him the question during the interview. I asked him if that was a burden. To carry on the legacy of the greats like Bill Monroe and Ralph Stanley. And he had an answer, and you can listen to that online. Super Talk 99.7
Good tease, Brother Murphy.
Man, oh, man, it was a great interview, great conversation. And if you want to see Matt Murphy starstruck, just watch. But I remember when I was 8 years old, my grandmother on a Saturday afternoon, this is what we did on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. She had the big old console record player, with the speakers embedded in the record,
those.
And she would lift that sucker up, and she had the 8-track tape player that she could play from. She had one, Ken, that had the you could plug in a microphone, and you could sing along.
Oh, man.
Oh yes,
That would have been fun.
Yes, but she didn't let us do that very much. She said no. Who's singing this song? Well, let's keep it that way. That was my grandma.
That way. Yeah.
But she would put on Ricky Skaggs. Man, oh, man. Country Boy, that album. I'm just a country boy. Country boy. That's when music was good.
Yes, sir.
Back in the day.
Uncle Pen. Cajun Moon.
Don't cheat in our hometown. God, that's great stuff.
Highway 40 Blues.
Oh, man. That's good stuff.
You're lucky Ricky was a lovely man, and I'm not just going to call you both old.
Well, Ricky's kind of old. Ricky's 71 years old, Jackson. One of these days, God willing, you'll get old. And there'll be youngsters running around talking about how old and decrepit you are. And you'll think back on this day, and you'll think, maybe I should have been nicer to Ken and Matt and Ricky. Won't you? Oh, by the way, you're just itching for Casablanca for your movie this weekend. Itching.
Oh, your favorite movie from when you were a teenager?
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
You guys are going to start assigning each other movies just out of spite. Like, you're going to start assigning each other 3.5 hour.
Ken already did that.
Well, so I didn't do my assigned movie watching last week, Ken.
Yeah.
And as punishment, and I willingly accepted punishment, Jackson assigned me one of the worst movies in the history of film.
What is it?
It's called
Matt.
Oh,
Matt
my God.
texted me last night, Ken, and all the text message said was, I want to punch everyone who was involved in the making of this film
In the
the
face.
face.
Every single one of them. In the face. I mean, the only excuse for that movie being made was that he was high off of the success of Happy Gilmore and Billy
This
Madison.
movie was made in like 2011.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
It was bad, huh?
It's called Jack and Jill, Ken.
Adam Sandler plays both himself and his sister in a cross-dressing role.
He plays himself and his own twin sister.
I have never heard of that.
And Al
film.
Pacino has a crush on the sister.
The Al Pacino.
You're kidding me. Why have I missed that movie?
Well,
Just be thankful you did.
if you want 91 minutes of your life that you're never, ever going to get back,
Just waste it.
just wasted.
Yeah,
Go
I-
watch this.
I'll
You'll-
just look at clips.
You cringe from the moment it starts, and then you're like, why are all these people in the movie? And then you realize, well, Adam Sandler is just calling in favors. And anyway, full movie review coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, and it ain't good. So I want to talk about District 7 for just a moment. We're going to talk airplanes here in the next couple of minutes with our good friend Jason Gillum. Jason came on a couple of weeks ago to advocate for a dam in Columbia, Tennessee, which might be my new adopted hometown if things work out. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying, saw a couple of houses down there over the weekend. Looks pretty nice
down there, dude. It's pretty.
Oh, it's gorgeous in Columbia. Absolutely gorgeous. Columbia is the Franklin, Tennessee that I can afford.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all. I mean, I know people that live in Columbia won't like me saying that, but y'all know it's true.
Oh, they know.
Oh, I love it. It looks great downtown. Oh, anyway, more on that coming up. But so what the hell was I talking about? I've lost my train. Oh, I remember. So early voting in District Number 7. Let's get back to this. Van Epps and Afton Bain, and then there's a third party guy. If the political left was serious about this seat, they would have someone serious running for this seat. And they don't. And that's no knock on Afton. She's been on the show in the past. Any serious candidate who really wants to represent the people of District Number 7 and is not just doing some sort of performance art would actually look at the district, recognize that it was, I want to say, without looking at the numbers, I would bet you that District 7 in 2024 was plus 20 Trump. I bet that it was 60-40 District 7 was for Donald Trump. So I like that. That's funny. 2227 says Columbia is full. Well, what? You just want... Where do you want me to live? 2227. You don't want me to be a king of Columbia? You don't want me to be a part of Columbia? What's the problem there? I don't. Why are you being like that? So Tennessee's full, now Columbia's full. Now
He's just passing the message from the great and powerful humble.
apparently Columbia's not full because there's houses for sale. If Columbia was full, there would be houses for sale. Now they're too expensive for meager budgets like mine, but 8457, it's all about the house. It's all about the property. I want at least an acre of property, and I would prefer 2 or 3 acres of property. And when you get into the counties with septic, you have to have a minimum of an acre of property, which is nice for me. I want a little place that I can stretch my legs and build a Stoltzko building out back and have a man barn and all of that kind of thing, okay? So Mount Juliet, while they have that, these things in Mount Juliet tend to be, I'm just answering your question, tend to be way overpriced. They tend to be $950,000, $1 million or whatever. And I love Mount Juliet, and I know my buddy David Corlew is shaking his head at the radio right now. God bless Mount Juliet. I like old school towns. I like towns with a town square. I like towns with a town courthouse. And Mount Juliet doesn't have that. Why are you looking at me that way?
Reminds you back of the days before stoplights.
Yes. It does. It reminds me of back in the day where things were a little bit easier and things were a little bit slower paced, Jackson, and you could sit on the front porch on a rocking chair and sip yourself a cold drink and watch the day go by. That's exactly right, Jackson. You're making a little snot-nosed joke, but you're exactly right. Good for you.
Take your hay penny, get you that cold drink.
Hey, let's go on down. Hi. What? No, see, you have no idea. You just walked into a scene from Andy Griffith. Remember that? The Man in a Hurry episode, Ken?
Yes,
Man in a Hurry. It said, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to go down on a filling station, get myself a cold drink,
Go home, watch a little TV,
watch a little TV.
take a nap.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go down there, diner, get myself a cold drink. Oh, it's so good.
New Mexico State, the team Tennessee played,
Yeah.
their starting quarterback's last name was Fife.
Do you think of Barney?
I did think of Barney. I said they have Barney Fife at quarterback, and we still can't stop them
Looks
because they got a first down.
Oh, well, y'all stopped them plenty.
ready to say.
Anyway, I got distracted on the Columbia, Tennessee thing. I apologize. I started talking about Jason, then I talked about Columbia Dam, and then I got sidetracked, and I got distracted, and I got confused. I confused myself. Back to the original point.
Yes, sir.
If the Democrats were serious about any of this, they would present a candidate that at least was cognizant of the voters that they're trying to attract to their side of all of this. Originally, I warned you because I looked at the primary votes, and I know I'm remembering that I'm that guy, and several of you are reminding me that I was that guy, right? I was the guy that said, y'all watch it. This district is too close for y'all to take this for granted. This district, it's like all things being even, what the Tennessee legislature did was they created a district number 7 that's about a plus 10 district. Y'all understand what that means? That means at any given moment, District 7 is about 55-45 Republican to Democrat. Most of those Democrats are in Nashville. That's a high concentration of leftists that vote in the 7th Congressional District. Same with the 5th, same with the 6th. But they did that to create 3 Republican districts as opposed to 2 Republican districts and 1 Democrat district. You understand how they worked it? They reconfigured the maps, and they took 2. It's pretty ingenious what they did. They took 6 and 7 were 2 20-plus Republican districts, and 5 was a Democrat district. It was Nashville. They took those 3 districts, and instead of 2 20-plus Republican districts and 1 Democrat district, they created 3 Republican plus 12 districts. And 7's probably around plus 10. So all things being equal, all the voters go out and vote, a Republican is going to win that district 55-45. Donald Trump won the 7th like by 20 points, right? So in order for any Democrat to walk into this district and win, all things being equal and turnout being what it needs to be, that Democrat has to present as an old school yellow dog, grandmama and M's Democrat. And what is Afton Bain doing? She is progressive, LGBTQ, transgender rights are human rights. You can read any book you want in the library. Drag shows are for everyone. I mean, all of this cultural garbage and nonsense, 1, having nothing to do with her job in Washington, D.C., and 2, pushing away the very moderates that you need to win an election. Now, that's the politics of all of this. I suppose maybe I should give Afton kudos because she's being who she is. She's being a genuine person. She's just horribly naive if her goal is to win an election. And maybe we should count our blessings that that's the case. One way or the other, I'm of the predisposition. I agree. Like I said, Cameron Smith wrote an article about this. I think it dropped over the weekend in the Tennessean, that as long as people turn out, Matt Van Epps is going to destroy Afton Bain because the state of Tennessee does not like socialism. And even most of the Democrats don't like socialism, despite, our current mayor in Nashville. 615-737-9986. It's 53 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt for Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega is your team, your IT team, your computer consultation team in Middle Tennessee. Michael has taught me a lot of things about the computer industry, a lot of things about how to handle IT in a business setting. And one of the things that he talks about, and he doesn't say this because he is a company, an IT consulting company. He says this because it's true. A lot of business owners think that they can handle their IT on their own, and it's grown too much. It's too much of a pain to do on your own. You can farm this out and save money, and you do it with the right people, and you're going to save time and energy, and you're going to see increased and better performance in the IT world. Plus, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and hassle when it comes to cybersecurity and ransomware attacks. That's what Alpha and Omega do. That's what they do every single day. If you're in a business, your business is not the computer business. You need to trust people who are in the computer business for all of your computing needs. So if your IT contract's up or if you don't have one, let's call Alpha and Omega today at 615-784-0096, 784-0096, or A&O.net. That's A&O.net. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Efficient Heating and Cooling. It's that time. I told you it was coming. I said like a month and a half ago, I said, guys, y'all need to get with Efficient and Jeff Eddy and get that maintenance done on the heating unit, because there's going to come a time where you're using that thing and you have to smell that nasty smell, and there's dust and there's dander, and that's not good for you and your family and your health. Of course not. Well, now's the time. You still have plenty of time to get that winter maintenance scheduled. It is the best way to head off costly repairs and breakdowns over the cold winter season, because believe it or not, it's going to get cold out there, y'all. And you know the drill. It's bound to be a snowstorm, bound to be an ice storm. You want to make sure that you're nice and cozy warm inside of your home, and you don't have to worry about the heater. That's what Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling, that's what they do on a daily basis. The savings stack up after the maintenance because your unit keeps your heating costs down because it runs more efficiently, hence Efficient Heating and Cooling. If you do find yourself in need of repairs, or if you need to address a breakdown, Efficient can handle that as well. They don't charge overtime rates on the weekends or on the evening times. So give Efficient Heating and Cooling a call. Efficient Heating and Cooling. Jeff Eddy and his team want to see you. 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for Efficient.
President Trump repeats his intent to give some Americans a tariff dividend. Got that and more coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You guys are reminding me. I need to tell my realtor, because right now we're looking in Murray, Sumner, and Wilson. Those are our 3 county searches. I need to tell her to send me Cheatham too. Maybe even Dixon. What? Why'd you make that face, Jackson?
I didn't make a face.
I thought you made that face when I said Dixon County. By the way, you should be apologizing to this audience right now
What?
because they're a little upset at your ageism.
They're not old. You're old.
I'm looking at one right now that says Jackson needs to respect his elders.
I do respect you. You're just old as hell.
Another one said that I'd like to. Man, I hesitate even saying this. I'd like to hit Jackson right in his face.
What?
Tell him to come on.
Jackson, don't be saucy now. You get froggy, somebody's going to jump. I'm just telling you. Oh, I'm about your age, grew up in Fairview, unrecognizable now. Too much progress. Nostalgia is a form of depression, y'all. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to talk about that after we talk with Jason Gillum about flying. That all things considered, it is better now in the United States of America than it ever has been, and I defy you to tell me I'm wrong. And that doesn't sell any newspapers, and it doesn't get anybody listening to the radio because it's a lot more fun to talk about how much better it used to be, but it's not true. None of it's true. We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later on, but right now we're about to talk flying. That's after the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. President Trump repeating his intent to give some Americans a tariff dividend. He says it's going to be thousands of dollars for low-income and moderate to middle-income individuals sometime the middle of next year. And Trump says tariffs are going to be used to pay down the national debt.
The numbers that we've taken in, if you talk about investments, is trillions. Not with a B, not with an M, millions, but trillions of dollars.
That's not all the media asked about.
President Trump said Monday that House Republicans can do whatever they want when they vote tomorrow to compel the Justice Department to release the Epstein files.
We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it.
But he said he doesn't want lawmakers talking about it too much because it's taking away from the work his administration is doing. And he said the Epstein issue is a, quote, Democrat problem. The president could order the release of the files without Congress taking this action. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Well, full SNAP benefits returning for Tennessee families this week. The Department of Human Services says anyone who received only part of their November benefits will see the rest added to their EBT card starting today. Those who haven't received any benefits yet should expect the full amount in the coming days. Officials say December benefits will be issued on the regular schedule. And prices for many popular weight loss drugs are expected to come down for some customers. Novo Nordisk announced a 30% drop for Wegovy and Ozempic for those who don't use insurance to pay for it. The price will now go to $199 a month for the first few months, then $349 a month after that. More from ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula, who says Novo Nordisk is also waiting for FDA approval on an oral medication.
And on the horizon, non-injectable weight loss medications in the form of a daily pill, which they say will be even less expensive when available, starting at $149 a month.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. BNA looks like we've got Briley Parkway southbound closed right there at Murfreesboro Pike due to a crash. Over on the East Bank going eastbound, crash right there at Shelby Avenue. Mount Juliet, injury crash, 40 eastbound right before Mount Juliet Road. That's exit 226. Antioch, look for a crash. It has eastbound 24, a parking lot practically all the way back to the eastern split. That's going to be 24 eastbound right there at Harding Place. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back to the District 7 talk coming up in just a few. We also, let me tell you something. I'm all over the joint. I understand. Somebody called it ADHD radio, and that's true. I would have ADHD if I believed in it, but I don't believe in it, so I don't have it. So I got a lot to say about a lot. I still haven't gotten my Epstein rant on the table yet. We're going to do that later. We're going to talk Michelle Obama. She had a few things to say about the United States of America. Here's a little peek behind the curtain. None of it nice. And then we're going to talk about October 7th, 2023 a little bit if we have time. And I got to get my rant pants on about Christmas decorations, y'all. Thanksgiving just gets the shaft, and I don't know what to do about it. I feel like I've lost this battle. What do you think, Jackson?
It's Christmas decorating time.
So you're all in favor?
I'm all in favor. Put them up.
I saw the Mandis family. Did y'all see online the Mandis
I saw
family?
that, boy. They already got a big old tree up.
Already got a big tree up, Ken. Where are you on this? Where are you on this very hot debate, Ken Weaver?
I'm all about it. I'm all about going ahead and putting Christmas stuff up. We're going to do it this weekend.
I'm lost. I've lost this debate. I've lost
buddy.
I've lost it.
I got a buddy. He is moving Thanksgiving Day.
Uh-huh.
He's got Christmas stuff up. In the house he's leaving. He's leaving Thanksgiving Day.
Why would he? And he's going to take the Christmas stuff and put it up in the new one. So he's not waiting.
It's not a lot.
It's the point. So I know I've lost the battle.
I knew that would
get
drive
it.
you
I
insane.
understand. I'm on the losing side. I'm like, you know what I am, fellas? I'm Mel Gibson in Braveheart. I know I'm going to get my gonads cut off on this subject, but I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to scream freedom. But instead of freedom, I'm going to scream Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving! That's the hill I'm dying on. Thanksgiving matters, y'all, and you can put your damn Christmas decorations up on Friday after Thanksgiving.
Well, what if I get me a turkey ornament, hang it up?
Okay. See now you're trying to fudge on me. Trying to slide Christmas in there. You know what I have? I have a turkey, a big turkey inflatable that I'm going to bring in here.
We have a turkey. We have turkey hats.
We have turkey hats? Of course we do.
Yeah,
there you go.
They're real hot though.
Yeah, they do get your head all hot.
Make it all itchy. Too.
There you go, Jackson. Show everybody on Super Talk TV what you're
My
talking
camera's
about.
down.
Convenient.
That's convenient.
Very convenient.
Jackson was real quick with that.
I love Halloween. I mean, I love all the holidays, right? But they're kind of packed in here. But give Thanksgiving its moment, y'all. I mean, but I have a big turkey inflatable that I bought. Briefly, we were renting a piece of property before I came to Nashville, and the HOA in the place where we were renting said that you couldn't have any. They designated the only times that you could do outdoor decorations. And they said Halloween, and they said Christmas, and they skipped Thanksgiving. So I bought a big-ass Thanksgiving turkey inflatable. and put it right. And I just dared somebody to say something.
You did, man.
But there's one where there's the turkey sitting on top of Santa Claus, and there's a sign that says, "Hold on, fat man, your turn's coming." I just, protect Thanksgiving, y'all.
Bring that big old turkey in here, man. We need to set that up.
All right, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna bring it, and it's one of the it's gonna take the whole joint up. So we'll do that in a little bit, maybe tomorrow, as a matter of fact. All right. I'm so pleased to have our next guest in here, and I'm so pleased on the subject matter because it's going to be a cool conversation. Now, we had Jason Gillum on a couple weeks ago.
Yes, a couple of weeks.
A couple weeks ago to talk about Columbia Dam. We're not talking about the dam today. We will talk about the dam again. Every time I bring up the Columbia Dam, boy, there's not a lack of it. I was down in Columbia this weekend looking at houses. Jason, there's not a lack of opinion.
No, you get a flood of response, right?
Hey,
no pun intended.
Like what you did there. So obviously you are learned in that subject, and we'll have you back on to talk and debate about that issue. But during our last conversation, you I guess everybody else knew it but me, you let the cat out of the bag that you fly for Southwest.
I do. 25 years seniority in December.
Wow. And so I'm fascinated with what you guys have been through recently and just generally speaking the topic of air travel in the United States of America. So we invited you to come on and discuss it.
And I appreciate that.
Well, and you were gracious enough to do it. So what got you into flying? Just you?
I knew when I was 4 years old I wanted to be a pilot. The short story, my parents took me to St. Louis to see a baseball game when I was 4 years old. And we flew on TWA, Trans World Airlines. Mm-hmm. And I was hooked from the get-go. I said on that flight home that I was going to be a pilot for TWA, and at 32 years old, I was in training at TWA to be a pilot. So
that's so good.
Yeah, I never lost the desire. It's just something that's always been within me, and so now I've been in the airlines for 30 years, and like I said, 25 years of that now seniority at Southwest. That'll be December.
There's a shortage, right? Isn't there a shortage of pilots?
There is, and this is something that's been festering for a while, and it's just getting progressively worse because the retirements in the airlines are progressing. Every year there's more and more pilots retiring, and we don't have enough guys and ladies coming in at the bottom to fill those seats. So
was the and I'll just get right to it. I was going to kind of lay the land for a minute, but I'm very curious what the world was like during COVID. I mean, because they were making y'all take the shots, and I don't know what your circumstance was, but it was bad for it was particularly bad for the airline industry.
Most of the pilots at Southwest didn't take the jab. We kind of stood firm on that.
Good.
And
did they back off on it?
They did.
That's nice.
They allowed religious exemptions, and other airlines did too. But I think some were a little bit more apprehensive.
I'm laughing because as soon as you say they allowed religious exemptions, I'm thinking, man, I bet a lot of pilots got religion.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and in retrospect, I mean, thank goodness because there's been some issues with that. It's a controversial subject, obviously, but there's been some issues with guys that that got the shot. And so I was just thankful that our airline listened to us.
Some didn't.
The pilot group, right?
Some didn't. So if we're looking at such a shortage, I would think that this would be a little more top of mind. I talked to a young man. I was out. I got a chance to take a flight at the Tennessee Flight School at BNA, and we went up. 174 Cessna, 172 maybe, and itty bitty, tiny thing. And we're going up and we're talking, and he is, training, but he's also he's close to being a pilot. And he was talking to me about that process and how excited he was to make that transition. I was so excited for him, but he was talking about the shortages, and he was talking about some of the money.
That's part
offering.
Yes. Well, the airlines do. The pay has gotten much better because the market is so much more competitive. There's just not guys coming up, and the ones that do, they're wanted and needed. And so, they've really come around with the pay for sure. And it's, and one of the reasons that there's so many vacancies is just because it's not something you can just say, oh, I want to be a pilot, and then you go sit down in the cockpit and you start flying, right? It's a long process, and it's an expensive process.
How long did start to finish? How long would you say?
Depending on the route you take, okay? I mean, there's collegiate routes. You can go to college. You know, MTSU's one of the big aviation schools here. I attended MTSU back in the day. It's changed, obviously, a ton since that time. But to answer your question, 4 to 7 years at best, and most guys, by the time they get through, it's usually around 10 years till you get to the major airline. And the flight training alone costs anywhere from $80,000 to $120,000 depending on how fast you get done.
Wow.
The longer you take, the more repetitive you have to be, the more things you have to go over. So, and you're paying per flight hour during your training. So you're paying your instructor, you're paying for the aircraft. And so if you don't stay on top of it, you have to repeat things. You have to repeat things, and you're paying for more hours. So that the more you stay on top of it, the faster you get done, the more money you save. But it's still, to get to your airline transport pilot rating from zero, it's somewhere between $80,000 and $120,000.
One of the reasons that I wanted to have this conversation, and I thought it would be of such interest to the audience, is that over the last 45 or so days during the shutdown, we had a lot of conversations, and it seemed to reach and bubble above the surface on the national news scale that there's an air traffic controller shortage. And I want to ask you about that, but nobody ever talked about the pilot shortage during the entire process. I'm thinking, well, it's my understanding that there's a significant pilot shortage too. If there's a shortage, how are we currently overcoming it, or are we?
We really aren't, and that's the problem. And so there's a divide, and it's you've got the traveling public. It's increasing. You have more and more travelers that want to fly, but yet the pilots that are available are decreasing. So there's a void there between supply and demand, right? And so just using 2022 numbers, I went back and looked at some. There were 8,800, and this is approximate, but there were 8,800 ATPs given, airline transport pilot ratings. So guys that had been in training and they were eligible for their ATP rating, meaning that they could get the rating that would allow them to fly for a commercial airline. There were 8,800 given in 2022. All right. There were 4,800 pilots hired out of that group.
Okay.
All right. 4,800. And it's for a lot of reasons, right? There might be personality differences. Just, they might not meet the exact requirements for a particular airline, whatever.
Something might happen in a personal way, whatever.
But here's the big number. There were 18,200 openings. So for 18,000 openings, there were 4,800 pilots hired.
Wow.
And that number, that divide is increasing year after year after year. There's just not enough guys coming up. And the reason is, and I don't know, maybe it's a societal issue. It seems like in today's world, everybody wants instant gratification, right? You want to come out of college and you want to be making $300,000. And it's just not the reality of the world we live in. And so when a guy hears that it's going to take 7 to 10 years, it's going to cost you $120,000, before you even get hired, they're like, I'll go find something else to do.
Right. So what do we do obviously the military is a route, right? I mean, that incredibly valuable route.
True, but just like other avenues, that is diminishing too. As you see all the time in this world, we're more and more, drones are doing more and more of the aviation flying, surveillance. They're even, they have drones now that are attack aircraft, and so guys are sitting somewhere in a remote area looking at a TV screen. And so, that
you
pilot
can't translate that to commercial
No,
aircraft.
it's not even remotely the same. You're just looking at a screen flying a drone. It's completely different when you're sitting on the flight deck and you're having to make decisions on that flight deck.
And am I remembering correctly, and I'm trying to remember the name of the instructor over at Tennessee Flight School. I want to say his name was Justin, but that's probably wrong. But one way or the other, he was saying, and I think I remember this correctly, that he was building flight hours.
Right. And that's how you do it. So if you want to become a pilot, right, you have zero time. You have to go through your ratings, okay? And like I said, that can take 2 or 3 years depending on how fast you...
the first thing you have to do, not to interrupt you, but the first thing you have to do is learn how to fly a plane.
Right. Exactly.
And you have to do that with an instructor and blah, 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 and then you have to start solo, I guess, at some point.
Right. So you're looking at your private pilot rating, which will give you your certificate to fly single-engine airplane, a small airplane like that four-place 172 that you were talking about, right? So once you get your private pilot rating, then you want to build on that. And so the next thing you'll do is you'll go and you'll say, okay, I've got my private rating. I want to get my instrument rating, right? So that allows you to fly in the clouds. VFR is visual flight rules. You don't need any instrumentation. You're just flying, looking out the window. But if you want to fly instrument approaches in weather, low ceilings, low visibility, and you have to get your instrument rating. So you get your private, then your instrument. And this is the progression guys usually take, okay? You can vary it, but this is how they usually do it. Private, instrument, then you say, okay, I need to get my multi-engine rating. All right, you've been flying a single-engine plane. Now you want to fly an aircraft with 2 engines. So you get that. And then you get your multi-engine instrument rating. And then you go and you get your commercial single and commercial multi, okay? So what does that mean? Well, that allows you to fly and get paid. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get to fly for an airline, but let's say, you tow banners, or you do mapping, or you fly cargo of some type.
Ooh, crop dusters.
Yeah, crop dusters. That's
Yeah.
another one. That's
Old
another
school
one.
crop
So your
dusters.
commercial rating, it allows you to get paid to actually fly. And then guys say, okay, well, I want to advance now. I want to get my instructor rating, okay? And they'll get their CFI and their MEI, which means that they can instruct in single-engine airplanes and multi-engine airplanes. And that allows
That's where
you...
my guy was.
Right. And that allows you to build time and get paid while you do that, while you build those hours. Because most of the airlines are looking for somewhere around... The bare minimum is 1,500. You've got to have 1,500 hours to get your ATP. Most airlines want
ATP is
Airline Transport Pilot Rating.
Got it.
That's the last big pilot rating you get to go fly for a regional airline and then to a major. And so most of the guys, that's the route you take. And that takes, about 3-4 years, if you stay on it. But most airlines hire at about 3,000 hours now. I mean, there's some guys that get in a little less than that, but they want you to have a little bit of experience. And most of that experience is from flight instructing and then flying in a regional airline.
So let's say you've done that and you get hired by, let's say it's Southwest. I don't. But then you come in and you are what they call co-pilot or
first
officer, and you sit in that seat for a number of hours, a certain amount of hours.
It's all based on seniority.
Okay.
So once you're hired as a first officer, you're trained. You go fly on the line, and you're getting your experience.
And you're doing some of this. You're doing basically the same thing the captain is doing.
You are, and typically the way it works is on any given flight, the captain will fly one leg, the next leg the first officer will fly. The captain is always in command of the aircraft, right?
Sure.
He's always the final authority. But the first officer, they're flying the airplane. They're doing everything that the captain is doing as far as manipulating the controls and all that, and making
they have
decisions.
the same abilities.
Right. You're just doing it in the right seat, right? And then as you progress in seniority and you've spent time in that, then you have to take your captain upgrade ride or your check ride to be a captain, and there's training involved with that. It's several weeks of simulator training and everything to upgrade to captain, and then you have to pass your.
You have to learn how to use the radio to talk to the people.
Right. You get your type rating in the aircraft, in the jet you're flying or whatever, and then you take your captain ride. You get your type rating, and then you move to the captain seat, and then you start all over with your seniority as a captain.
Well, this is a fascinating conversation. If you guys have any questions for Jason on the lines of airlines, I know a lot of them are coming in on the Super Text line, and some of them are really, really good. We're going to ask Jason all these questions. I will continue to explore more about this and find out what life was like during the shutdown. Do we have a real significant air traffic control issue? What that world is like? All of these questions will be answered in a moment, 24 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for USS, which stands for United Structural Systems. Folks, your foundation is everything in your home. Got to have a good slab, or you've got to have a good foundation, right? And if you've noticed those typical issues that many would notice when it comes to the foundation of your home or your waterproofing, like moldy or musty smells, or perhaps cracks in your basement or crawl space, maybe those telltale cracks that you find in the masonry joints, that is an indication of an unnatural shifting, if you will, and you need USS on top of these things. If you have standing water, obviously you need to make the call. Moisture is a sign. The walls bowing or tilting in a certain way or cracking even, that can be a sign as well. All of these things would merit a telephone call to USS, United Structural Systems. Since 1994, they've helped over 30,000 satisfied residential customers in this community, and you can be next. They can help you as well. Go to USSTN.com to find out more, USSTN.com, or 615-488-7855, 488-7855. Hello, folks. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about your hairline. I know it's a personal subject, and some of you guys, especially, you're a little sensitive to it. But if that hairline is receding, if you are thinning in your hair, if you've noticed a bald spot or two, then it's time to make the call that so many others have made to Advanced Hair Restoration. They have the easiest and guaranteed solutions. They're simple. One-day treatment offers life-changing results, and I've seen it with my own eyes. I've been in their office, and I've seen these. It's not magic. It is real results. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's science. Advanced Hair has it all, top-rated doctors, modern technology, and the best of all, that you get your own natural hair to grow the very next day. Advanced Hair guarantees this process will work. So schedule your free consultation right now at 629-348-HAIR, 629-348-HAIR, or to qualify for your $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Or you can check them out online at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com. Don't wait. Check this out today, advancedhair.com.
President Trump talking tariff dividends. We'll tell you about that coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A couple of minutes before we get to the news, and then we've got Jason after the news. If you have any questions for Jason Gillum, who is a pilot, a captain at Southwest Airlines, then please, by all means, get him in here on the Super Text line, 615-737-9986, or you can call us up or Super Text it, and we'd love to hear from you. I mean, I can go a lot of different ways. I want to keep with the structural aspects of what y'all do on a day-to-day basis before I get to the stuff like what's the weirdest flight you've ever had and the craziest stuff that ever happened on an airplane. But talk to me about air traffic control. I mean, because even in my limited experience flying with, I've flown in a few helicopters, which
Right.
have communication in, and then I've flown in a few small planes. And just listening to that level of communication, it is mind-boggling.
Right.
So it is, particularly because y'all are speaking a different language, obviously,
Right.
ground control and air traffic. and the idea that there aren't enough people to make you aware of what you need to know is a little bit frightening for those of us in the back of the plane. But talk to us a little about
Well, so, controllers are not a whole lot different than pilots. You don't just say one day I want to be a controller and then you go sit up and you're in the tower, and you're managing traffic. It doesn't work that way. It takes about, somewhere between 4 to 7 years before you're actually, able to do that job. Mm-hmm. So there's a level of training and there's some cost involved. And there's some other restrictions too. If you want to be a controller today, you've got to be a U.S. citizen. You have to be 31 years old before you get put in your position in the tower. So let's say you're 29 years old and you want to be a controller. Well, you're really going to be pushing that limit. You may not make that 31-year-old mark before you actually get put in that position, if you follow what I'm saying. So you got to be a U.S. citizen. You got to be 31. You got to have a clean background. You got to pass a medical. A college degree is not necessarily required, but they're preferred, but you don't have to have that. But yeah, the average controller to get to the actual seat, it's 4.5 to 7.5 years right now.
Is it, the old wives' tale, or what we've always heard, is that air traffic control is one of the most stressful jobs in America?
For those guys that I've talked to, and I know some controllers and have talked to several, it can be a stressful job. Now, those guys are top-notch professionals. I can tell you right now, there is no way on God's green earth I would want to do that job. You really have to be on your game 100% of the time, no question about it, especially in busy airspace like Atlanta or New York,
right?
Chicago. Chicago, any of those, LA.
Or even B&A to a certain
right, well, at any of them. I'm not negating the fact that you always, but, when you have
those busier hubs,
takeoffs and departures every, 60 seconds and or less, there's no room for any fudge.
It occurs to me that, like, for you guys, and I don't want to assume anything for what you do, but I mean, you get the stress points of, takeoff and landing. Obviously, I would think are the times that you need to be on point and as focused all the time. But
right.
Those 2 times.
Exactly.
But then you can kind of, once you get up there and away from everybody else, it's not like you're constantly under stress.
Well, obviously, if you're at 41,000 feet and you're cruising across the country on a 4-hour flight, obviously you're always paying attention, but there's that time for kind of a disconnection from just keying in 100% every second, like you would be on a takeoff or
but these
landing.
Air traffic control fellows and gals, it's constant with them.
Right.
Jason Gillam's with us. He's captain at Southwest. We're talking to him. We've got a lot of questions on the Super Text line, a lot of questions on the phone lines. We'll get news and get back to those questions coming up in a moment on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. President Trump repeating his intent to give some Americans a tariff dividend today. He says it's going to be thousands of dollars for low-income and moderate to middle-income individuals sometime the middle of next year. And he says tariffs are going to be used to pay down the national debt.
You know what's more important than that? We've protected our businesses from being raided like we did with the chip business. Now we're bringing them all back.
Tennessee families who rely on SNAP food benefits to see full benefits returned this week. The Department of Human Services says remaining November funds being added to EBT cards starting today. Anyone who hasn't received benefits yet should expect the full amount in the next few days. Officials confirm December benefits will follow the regular schedule. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over by the airport, got the right lane blocked by a crash. That's going to be Briley Parkway southbound at Murfreesboro Pike. Then on the East Bank going eastbound, a crash there just past Shelby Avenue. And then a crash on the right shoulder, 40 westbound at Fessler's Lane. Glencliff, a crash, on-ramp partially blocked. That'll be the 24 eastbound on-ramp from Briley Parkway south. Antioch, a crash, 24 eastbound at Harding Place. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hey, folks, Matt Murphy. You want to know about a place where European Auto Repair does not feel like European Auto Repair? It's Matt Murphy, and I'm proud to tell you about Eurofix. At Eurofix, you notice it as soon as you walk in that they're not your typical quote-unquote garage. And Aaron Stokes made it a priority to make sure that was the case. Waiting rooms are clean and comfortable. They're inviting. Service areas are absolutely spotless. That's important to Aaron and his team because Eurofix cares about everything from how you're treated to how your vehicle's treated. Every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repairs Eurofix performs. Plus, they're at below dealer pricing, which is so crucial that, sadly, the dealerships, the repair shops are designed to carry all the overhead of the dealership, which means that they charge too much. Eurofix fixes everything European, plus a rental car available at every appointment. Locations in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. 844-EUROFIX. Call 844-EUROFIX or visit myEuroFix.com. That's myEuroFix.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I have this weird hat. By the way, Jason Gillum's our guest. He is a captain with Southwest Airlines, and I hope you're as fascinated with this subject as I am. I got a gajillion questions. You've got questions. We're going to ask all of those from the Super Text line, and some of you have called in, and we'll get to Glenn and John and perhaps Brian in just a moment. I do this. My wife gives me grief about this, but I do every flight I get on. I have a really macabre mind, and I look in the seat back, right, and I get the little thing out that tells me the model of the aircraft.
The emergency brief card.
Yeah. And you get the model, and then I go to my phone. This is before we take off. I go to my phone and I look up the crashes. Every flight. Because there's always crashes. There's crashes all the time, y'all. But most of you don't know about. But because there's no passengers on. But I look up the crashes, and I don't know why. It makes me feel better about flying. I have a little bit. I don't have a fear of flying. I have a fear of taking off. And it's you probably know it. There's a point I don't know what y'all call it, but I read about it, where there's a kind of a point of no return where the runway's only so long.
Right.
And so even if you, and God forbid this should ever happen, I know you probably don't like talking about this kind of stuff, but even if you recognize there's something wrong, you got to try to take off anyway.
Well, we have we have a runway stop distance, right? And then it's called V1, right?
Okay.
That's your decision, your go or no go decision, and that's an airspeed. And when you reach that speed, no matter what happens, you're going flying. If you
Right.
and if you have something that happens up to that V1 decision speed, then you can abort.
shut her down.
You can abort, and you'll have enough runway remaining to stop the aircraft.
Right.
And so that is the determining factor for flying or not. And these airplanes, if you lose an engine at V1, the airplane is going to fly. It just will. That's the whole point of that speed.
I just got told by like 3 different people on the SuperText line that I'm entering an arena that I shouldn't be entering into because pilots don't say the C word.
Well, let me tell you, I'm gonna make you feel a bit better about this.
Okay.
So you have statistically a better chance of getting struck by lightning while riding a donkey than you do getting injured on an airplane.
That's awesome.
Okay. And so I'm going to make you feel a bit better about this.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 2 different aircraft types. In the airline world, typically you're either going to be on a Boeing aircraft or an Airbus.
Okay.
It's virtually no difference in the numbers. But Boeing airplanes around the world typically do 40,000 flights a day. There's 40,000 Boeing airplanes flying at any given day around the world.
Wow.
Okay? The chances of you being in an incident, now I'm not talking about a fatal, I'm just talking about an incident,
Okay.
is 0.39 incidents per 1 million flights. So in other words, 39 millionths of a percent, that is your chance of being in an incident on an airplane, whether it be Boeing or Airbus. Airbus is 0.38, if that makes a difference. But what that means is virtually it's a 0% chance.
Right.
Yes, it happens, but when you talk about the number of airplanes that are in the air,
It's insane.
it is. There's no
It is
safer
incredible.
way to move from point A to B, period.
I'd agree. I did a lot of the sleuthing on this math when years ago I got convinced to jump out of an airplane to skydive. And I've done it twice now. And I did a lot of this math and I love it because you're right. I mean, it is the safest way to travel. You are far, and it's not even close how much more dangerous driving home from work is. I mean, it's not even close.
Right.
All right, let's get back to happier things, like talking to John, who's got a question for Jason. John, you're on with Jason Gillum.
Yeah, I am a student pilot. I just got done with my private about 8 months ago, and I'm actually getting ready to go Part 141. I'm going to college, and I'm going to do the RATP stuff, all that. I've already got accepted into Delta's Propel. But my question is during all of that flight training, I've heard it gets quite difficult to remain enjoying flying. So how do you, per se, not lose the wonder of flying and all of the stress of flight training?
Oh man, I listen. I look back on the days of my flight training, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Yes, there's stress because you're tested. You have to perform to a specific limit. But listen, your preparation will put you right in the enjoyment phase of flying. The more you prep, the better off you'll be, and you're going to love it. When you look back on it, it'll be something that you'll never forget. I still remember all of my flight training.
Well, John, I mean, and I would imagine, and kind of to the nature of his question, thank you for the question, John, is that if you've got it, if you got the bug, I mean, if you realize at 4 or 5 years old that it's what you want to do, I don't imagine you ever lose the wonder of, I mean, it's funny. He's out of favor because he's apparently not a very good guy, but I saw a comedian years ago, Louis C.K., that did a bit about that he was on one of the first commercial flights that had Wi-Fi. And they had announced it was a big deal that this flight is going to have Wi-Fi. You're going to be able to,
Right.
look on your phone and do whatever you want at 35,000 feet. And they get up and and they say, "We're sorry, there's been some glitch. the Wi-Fi's not working. And he said the guy behind him was like, "Rah!" He starts screaming and yelling. And he's like, is it lost on you that we're moving at 500 miles an hour, 35,000 feet in the air by magic? You couldn't even begin to comprehend what's going on right now. And you're grumping because you can't look at TikTok.
Right. Sometimes you can't help but wonder that in today's world. You know, I deal with passengers sometimes that are upset for various reasons and delays and things like that, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, we're flying from maybe Nashville to Albuquerque, and we're an hour delayed, and it's as frustrating for me as it is anyone, right? Because we always want to be on time. But at the end of the day, I mean, Albuquerque, you're an hour late. You're still gonna get there. I mean, if you drove, you know, you're talking days, right?
Well, and you know, and you guys don't say. I mean, you experience just about a little bit of everything. I don't want to assume, but you know, on our end. On the passenger's end, you know, you're sitting at the gate and you're waiting, and then you get an announcement that there's been a mechanical issue, and the amount of grumping, and I'm like, don't y'all, that's what we want. We want that announcement, right? What we don't want is to get on the plane.
But I do understand the frustration. They're like, well, what do you mean you're just now finding that, you know? But these things, these airplanes, you know, they are extremely well maintained. I mean, the level of maintenance that goes into these airliners is just unbelievable. And so, you know, but these things are mechanical, and things show up every once in a while, and there's nothing you can do about it. And sometimes they rear their head at the worst possible time.
So I've gotten 1487 writes in and says, I guess he's a commercial pilot, he or she commercial pilot. And could we not start a pilot tech school, even a senior year of high school, that would help these young people get out of school and get them on a quicker path? And then he's also asked if you've ever flown into GTMO. Is that Gitmo?
No,
GTMO?
Yes, that's Gitmo.
He said the runway is so short.
Right.
So,
and I actually haven't flown into Gitmo. I have flown into Cuba, but I've not been to Gitmo.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know, but he's saying the runway.
Right. Oh yeah, right. I flew into West Palm. That's a short runway too. In a 737, it's always interesting.
I mean, but you always have advanced knowledge. I mean, right? Obviously.
Oh yeah, you know, there's plenty of preparation going into each flight, so you know what you're in for.
Getting into.
Right.
Glenn is next up with a question for Jason Gillum. Hey, Glenn.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Jason.
Hello.
I'm calling for a friend of mine who is in the process of becoming a pilot. He's having great difficulty getting his 1,500 hours in. I do not want to take any of your time on the air. I was wondering if there's any way you could give me some type of contact information so that he can contact you to, I guess, get some inside information. He's going through the process, but he's just running into.
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. I'd be happy to do that.
Give that to me. I would like to have him contact you. I'm doing it on his behalf.
Yeah, I'll let Matt tell you how to get in touch with the station. I'll give him my information, and then absolutely, I'll be glad to. I've mentored some other guys, and it's, you know, hey, it's important. That's what we do.
I'm going to put Glenn.
I'm not going to give you his full name, but his name is Sam. But if you would just
Glenn,
give me, yes.
Glenn, I'm going to put you on hold, and I'll get your contact info, and we'll get you guys in contact.
Absolutely,
that's the best way to do it.
Be happy to do it.
Okay. So I put him on hold for you, Jackson. 615-737-9986. 1012, I've had like 6 people ask this question. Are you responsible for loading the chemtrails into the aircraft? Or is that the...
I knew this was going to come up today.
First officer that does that? Is that a flight attendant job? Maintenance crew on the ground?
I knew that was going to come up, man. This whole chemtrail thing. Holy cow. Listen, here's the thing. I think there is some confusion in this chemtrail world. You know, chemtrails, obviously, there are military operations that have taken place where cloud seeding and things like that have been done.
No question.
I have no doubt. I can't say that I don't think that it's still going on. But that is completely different than these commercial airliners that you see when we're flying at altitude and you see the white streak coming out behind us. That truly is nothing more than a cloud. We're taking super cold air, minus 40 degrees plus. We're compressing that, condensing that, superheating it, and it comes out as basically these ice crystals, that get vaporized, and it's making a cloud. And so people say, well, how in the world does it stay up there for hours? Well, it depends, because there may not be any wind at altitude. If there's no wind at altitude, they could hang up there for who knows how long. They just hang there. They just hang there. If there's a 120-knot jet stream that you're flying through, it's going to dissipate very quick. And so, I believe that there's a thing called chemtrails, but what you're seeing streaking across the sky coming out of a 737, that's not a chemtrail.
I never let you answer the question about tech school, or is there a way to develop, I guess more broadly, would you recommend that we need more of a pipeline to find those?
Absolutely. I think we do need to find a solution before this problem just exacerbates to a point where we don't have any pilots.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we are going to reach a point where the demand is far more than the supply, and the traveling public's going to be stuck.
Could I use my GI benefits for a pilot's license? I don't know. That might be.
I believe I believe that option does exist. I'm a long time out of flight school, so you'll have to forgive me for my ignorance on this subject, but I do believe that you can absolutely do that.
Let's see. I'm looking down for the best questions. A lot of chemtrail questions, and a lot of people who have relatives or have folks that are pilots or are flight attendants. And there's several people that say this is how they want to go out. By the way, Jason, they want to go out riding a donkey, getting struck by lightning. 1143 says that's how I want to go. I want to be. Me too. Actually, that would be kind of fun. I don't know what's going on in your life if that happens. But Brad is next up with a question for Jason before we run out of time. Hey, Brad.
Hey there, AJ. How you doing?
Good.
Hey.
Brad, we got a bad connection, buddy. Which is a great way to parlay into my final question, is that why can't we use our phone on the plane?
Well, so we have navigation instruments up on the flight deck, right?
Right.
So there is a theory that if everybody in the airplane were on their cell phones, that those signals from those cell phones could interrupt the navigation system.
Kind of en masse.
En masse, right,
Yeah,
right.
okay.
So, I don't know about that. But that's what the experts tell us. So
right. You're just kind of following the rules.
I'm folling the rules.
I need you back, man, because I didn't even get into weirdest thing that's ever happened on a plane flight. I bet you could tell me stories.
Oh, there's there's a lot. There's a lot.
After what'd you say, 25 years of doing this?
30 years of
doing this. How long are you going to go?
Well, we mandatorily retire at 65, so
Okay.
I've got just over 9 years left.
Okay.
So, but 65, we're done whether we want to be or not. I mean, you can fly in the private world, you could go out and fly private jets and all that, but as far as commercial airline passengers,
Is there any conversation at all about adjusting that? I mean, people live a lot younger or older these days,
right.
if you know what I'm saying.
Right, and I'm the contingent that if you can, if you are still passing your medical, and you should be. But there are conversations, and they're ongoing at the federal level. I mean, the pilot unions and our federal government are in talks, and they've been talking about moving it to 67. So who knows if that's going to happen or not? But that would be one way to alleviate some of the pilot shortage.
Jason, thank you for this. It's been a great hour.
Well, thank you.
We'll do it again very soon. And
Absolutely.
Next time I'll let you talk about the Columbia Dam a little bit too.
Perfect.
There's Jason Gillum for a great hour of conversation. It's 4:54 on Super Talk. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. My buddy Shane Ring at Cover Nash has been telling you that you don't have to wait for open enrollment to make changes in your health care coverage. You just don't. But guess what? it's open enrollment season. And Obamacare's at it again, right? I mean, we've been talking about this with premiums going up for 2026, some even tripling for 2026 with sky-high deductibles. If you're frustrated with the government getting too involved in your health care insurance, if you're frustrated with Washington rules, Shane Ring at Cover Nash, they want to rule. They want to help you rule over your health insurance. You can cut costs by 40 to 60%, keep any doctor or any hospital, and skip the government red tape. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or just tired of paying too much, it's time to make the call, friends, that so many others have made to Cover Nash. 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or go to covernash.com. That's covernash.com. Health coverage on your terms, not the government's.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And this afternoon in the Oval Office, President Trump repeating his intention to give out tariff dividends to some Americans.
We're going to be issuing dividends later on, somewhere prior to, probably in the middle of next year, a little bit later than that, of thousands of dollars for individuals of moderate income, middle income.
Trump says money from the tariffs will go to pay down the national debt. And the Tennessee Department of Human Services says full SNAP benefits are being restored this week. Tennesseans who received only part of their November benefits will see the remainder added to their EBT card starting today. Those who haven't received any benefits yet should expect the full amount in coming days. And December benefits will be issued on the normal schedule. Prices for many popular weight loss drugs are expected to come down for some customers. Novo Nordisk announcing a 30% drop for Wegovy and Ozempic for those who do not use insurance to pay for it. More from ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula.
The daily pill will be available in multiple doses, like the weekly injections, and effectiveness is anticipated to be very close to the injections. For now, competitor Eli Lilly has not made an announcement about reducing costs this year, and they too have a GLP-1 pill seeking FDA approval that they hope is available by next summer, starting at $149 a month.
Nearly 1 in 4 U.S. households are living paycheck to paycheck, according to a new Bank of America report. Lower income families feeling the most strain with almost 30% spending nearly all their income on essentials, talking about rent and food. Analysts say inflation's outpacing wage growth, widening the gap between earnings and expenses. And how hard is it going to be to find a job for people who graduate college in May?
Freshly minted graduates beginning their search for employment will be competing not only with each other, but with artificial intelligence. The job search site Indeed suggests fine-tuning the soft skills that AI doesn't have: conflict resolution, decision-making, interpersonal communication. What's more, AI can be used by job seekers to write effective resumes and to rehearse job interviews. In other words, fighting AI with AI. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Sorry about that, Jim. You've probably seen those TV shows where people bid on abandoned storage units full of stuff. Well, in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, the winning bidder of one storage locker found an interesting haul, as we hear from ABC's Alex Stone.
When the winning bidder of a storage unit opened up what they had just won at auction, it wasn't old furniture or baseball cards. The Drug Enforcement Agency says a winning bidder found 1.7 million counterfeit fentanyl pills inside, along with powder to make 6 million more pills, the largest one-time seizure of counterfeit pills in Colorado history. That winning bidder immediately contacted the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, who called in the DEA. The registered owner of the storage unit was already in federal custody, but work is still underway to understand who was linked to all of those pills. Alex Stone, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, 24 eastbound on-ramp from northbound Briley Parkway south. You've got the on-ramp partially blocked by a crash. East Bank going eastbound, a crash there at Shelby Avenue. And then an accident on the right shoulder, 40 westbound at Fessler's Lane. Antioch, a crash, 24 eastbound at Harding Place. Belmont area got a crash reported, 440 eastbound at Hillsborough Pike. And in Lebanon, a crash, 840 westbound at Stewart's Ferry Pike. Talbot's Corner, a crash on the right shoulder, 65 southbound just past Trinity Lane. And then over by the airport, got a crash blocking the right lane. That's Briley Parkway southbound at Murfreesboro Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Man, oh man, that was a fun hour. I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. If you missed any portion of our hour with Jason Gillum talking about just being a pilot, being a commercial airline pilot, and especially being a pilot in this day and age, you can go back and check that out on our podcast. You can find it at 997WTN.com or any places where you find Murphy Show podcast. I enjoyed it. We'll have Jason back very, very soon. Man, I had so many other questions for him. And somebody I did not ask, and I'm sitting here regretting. I mean, what's the weirdest comfort animal that he's ever seen on one of his airplanes? You know?
Porcupine.
I bet maybe he's seen a porcupine. I did ask before he left, Ken. I asked him. I said, "You ever have to restrain? You know, because I know you don't want to talk about this, but you ever have to restrain someone in flight?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, there was this big fellow one time named Jackson Williams. We had to
restrain him
coming out of Knoxville. I had to tie him down. He was blubbering about the big orange." That's not true. He did say, but this makes me feel better. One time he said he had to do that in 30 years. One
That's
time.
Good.
Why don't you tell Ken Weaver your question for Jason before he left, Jackson?
Has he ever caught somebody trying to join the Mile High Club? The answer was yes. It happens often, or not often, but it's happened multiple times.
And typically it's the flight attendant that does the catching. But
Mm-hmm.
no, you know what he said though? He said, you know who turns them in?
Who?
Other passengers.
Other passengers. Yeah, well, especially somebody who needs to use the facility.
Yeah. Hey, buddy boy, why don't you speed that up in there? And by the way, have you been in those bathrooms? Teeny-tiny.
Yeah.
I don't know how two people can get in there.
Exactly.
Much less
do all that
business. Speaking of the business, we've got nincompoops in the news coming up in just a little bit.
Oh, I got a good one.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I got a good one.
Man, when Ken Weaver gets a good one, you might as well not even show up.
Brother Jackson might have the very one I have.
Uh-oh.
Because it's kind of along Brother Jackson's themes.
Oh, so they're nude.
I didn't say that.
Jackson likes the nudes.
They're
He
either.
does.
Can I guess?
He does. Oh, wait on it.
Yet,
Tease
Brother
on
Jackson,
it now.
not
Wait
yet,
on it
Brother
now.
Jackson, not yet, man.
We
I
gotta
don't
wait till
want Ken
5.
to get disqualified.
Oh no, we gotta wait till 5:35. Oh wait, yeah, Ken's been gone for 2 days though.
I know. That's why I've got two ready to go just in case.
Yeah, that's a smart move. I feel like if
If
one
you're
of
gone
if the
multiple
regulars, if one of the regulars is gone multiple days, you get a pass on the repeats. Got to feel that way anyway. All right, 615-737-9986. Let me give you a quick example of lazy. But by the way, if you've got little pictures in the car, plug those ears. Lazy ass reporting. There's no other way of putting it. Lazy A reporting by the Tennessean. Just lazy. Lazy. And I'm going to name names. The Tennessean's Vivian Jones. Lazy. Listen to this article. I will read it to you. Headline. DNC says Republicans panicking as Trump holds Van Epps event. The Week in Politics. Vivian Jones of the Tennessean. Liberal rag. I added that last part. Republican nominee Matt Van Epps says he's not nervous about his prospects in the December 2nd special congressional election against a Democrat, Afton Bain, after a sweep of Democratic victories in other states this month. But moves national Republicans are making are not typical for an election in a district that's been historically a Republican stronghold. Tennessee's 7th district has historically been dark red. Even after redistricting in 2021 that diluted Republican power there, now retired U.S. Representative Mark Green overwhelmingly won re-election in the 7th district by 22 points last November. President Donald Trump won most counties in the district last November by 3 or 4-1. That's the lazy nature. You headline this thing and you put 2 paragraphs up saying that the Republicans are nervous, and then you make a brief mention. That 2021 redistricting was everything, Vivian. And by the way, I don't know of anyone that's nervous that this is going to be a loss for the Democrat, or loss rather for the Republicans, especially how the Democrats are comporting themselves, as I went through in the first hour of the show. Van Epps, quoted in the article saying we've got incredible momentum after casting his ballot November 12th. Democrats are overperforming in special elections this year. Where were those special elections, y'all? Lazy. This is so lazy. They want you. So this is an intentional effort on the part of the Tennessean and Vivian Jones, in my opinion, to try to convince you that there's a competitive nature to this race. And maybe there would be if all the Republicans stay home. But I don't believe all the Republicans are going to stay home. And in an effort to make sure the Republicans don't stay home, Donald Trump is making sure that you know that he has given a full-throated endorsement to Matt Van Epps. And that it is important that you go out and vote because you've got a 3-vote majority in the House of Representatives right now, moving into an election year of 2026. Democrats are overperforming where? In New Jersey? Are they? Did they overperform in New Jersey? Or did they just perform? Because New Jersey is a blue state. Did they overperform in Virginia? Oh, there was performance art going on in Virginia. Oh, sure. In the sense that it is believed by many in Washington, D.C. circles that the only reason that they held out on the government shutdown as long as they did was to get past the election cycle so they could show the crazies on the political left that they were holding the line against the evil, mean-spirited Republicans who, by the way, had nothing to do with the shutdown to begin with. And then immediately they were going to roll over and play dead after the election cycle happened. And oh, by the way, they did that because of the number of federal government employees that live in Virginia. They needed those votes, motivated votes. Virginia's a blue state anyway. You know who overperformed? Glenn Youngkin. I don't expect that Vivian Jones wrote about that a couple of years ago, did she? Or a few years ago when he won election. Democrats, continuing now, capsizing on momentum from big Democrat victories this month. National Democrats are looking at Tennessee's 7th district as a prime opportunity for an upset flip. Republicans are responding in a big way. The Republican National Committee has committed 6 figures toward the race. 6 figures. That's a lot. It's my understanding that a George Soros-backed group has offered $350,000 minimum, largely attempting to benefit the third party in this race. That would be a gentleman that we're going to talk to tomorrow by the name of John Thorpe, someone that I don't know, but we look forward to meeting him and hearing what he's all about. Trump had a second tele-town hall November 13th, urging voters to get to the polls to support Matt Van Epps. During the town hall, Trump attacked Bain, calling her left-wing lunatic and a Marxist agenda that would be catastrophic for years to come. She's been called the AOC of Tennessee because of how radical left and how dangerous her policies are, said Trump, claiming that Bain advocated for massive tax increases. She did. She wants billionaires to pay, right? I heard her say it. She said it on my show. So that's not a claim. That's the truth. He's repeating something that she has said repeatedly over and over. So just a lazy report on the part of the Tennessee and wanting to scare the hell out of the people. I would say this. Be cognizant of the fact that there's an election going on. If you live in the 7th Congressional District, I would encourage you to vote for Matt Van Epps. I believe that Matt Van Epps will capably represent the 7th Congressional District, and we will have Matt back on the show. I think he's on Dan's show Wednesday. He will be on our show next Monday or Tuesday. Just look out for that prior to, I guess it would be Tuesday because we've got the Nashville the Radiothon Monday, so it would necessarily need to be Tuesday. So look out for that. And once again, Dan's got him on Nashville's Morning News this coming Wednesday. I have John Thorpe, who's running as an independent tomorrow, and Afton Bain has been repeatedly invited to come back on the show and explain to us how much of a socialist she truly is. In the meantime, John has called in and says, is this right, Jackson? Matt Van Epps sucks. Is that correct? All right. Hey, John, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, sir?
I'm good, John. I hope you are, brother.
Oh, yeah, doing great. Yeah, I just want to say about the money donated that you were talking about earlier. You know, they donate all this money to make spear campaigns, but, you know, that's where you should always trust your neighbor and everything instead of the big political ads. Just look at him. He's definitely going to be part of the swamp in Tennessee. So, you know, that's not very good, but he's definitely going to be better than Bain for sure.
What about Matt Van Epps leads you to believe that he is going to be part of the swamp?
His demeanor, the way he answers the questions, he avoids a lot of them, and, you know, a great representative would have been Mr. Barrett.
Yeah, but, I mean, obviously, folks had an opportunity. I like Jody, as far as that goes. Had him on the show many, many times, but...
Hey, that's where you're talking about that $300,000 that the people brought up, but it all goes because of that school voucher.
Well, I brought it up. Let's be clear, John. I brought up the $350,000 that the House Freedom Action Caucus brought to the table to advance Jody Barrett's candidacy, only because Jody went on News Channel 5 and complained about political action money coming out of Washington, D.C., and did not bother to mention the $350,000 that came out of Washington, D.C. to benefit him. So if you're going to mention all the other money that went against you, I would think that you would want to mention the money that was in support of you, don't you?
Yes.
Otherwise, I would think that you're being swampy.
Well, only time will tell, sir.
Well, no, I mean, that's a pretty swampy thing to do. So anyway, no.
We'll see.
Well, look, hopefully, I don't know what type of Congressman Matt Van Epps will be. Hope he's a good one. And like you say, time will tell, John.
Yes, sir.
All right, Matt, brother. I appreciate it. Take care. 18 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7, WTN. 1834 says, shouldn't we all want billionaires to pay more? They do. I mean, a lot more. It's not even close. Not even close. Let's be real clear about this. Half the people in the United States of America earning an income don't pay federal income taxes. That's a statistic. That is a statistical fact. That's not Matt Murphy's opinion about it. It is a fact. And then you go up the grading scale, and you'll find that as you get closer to the top, those individuals are paying dollar for dollar far more money than anybody else because they earn far more money. And obviously, you know, all things being equal, you should pay a similar percentage of your income as to what they pay for their income. Now, then you add in, you know, capital gains and other types of investment opportunity, and it gets a little squirrely in terms of the tax deal. And I'm not here to discuss that because I don't pretend to understand the mountain of tax code that exists for people that are earning billions of dollars outside of their quote unquote income. But billionaires pay more taxes than you or me by percentage. It's not even close. Not even close. Do your research and you'll find this. Don't trust the schmuck on the radio. Just go and Google it. And you'll see the 5 tiers, and you'll see the taxation levels, and you'll see the percentiles, the 20% and the 20%, and you'll see what I'm talking about. 615-737-9986. It's The Murphy Show. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Tennessee Men's Clinic. Gentlemen, if you've noticed that you still carry, you reach an age where you still have the desire for those intimate moments in your life, but you don't have the can-do anymore, then I would recommend you call the Tennessee Men's Clinic. If you've noticed just a couple of signs, and it's not necessarily affecting bedroom activity, but you don't have the energy level that you once had at the gym, that you can't get it done the way that you at one time could get it done. Well, here's the thing. I mean, age happens to us all, but you don't have to go quietly into that good night with the Tennessee Men's Clinic in our corner. We've got 3 locations in Middle Tennessee. Cool Springs is one. Clarksville is the brand new location, and the OG down in Midtown. They're urology-based. They're staffed with licensed providers that specialize in men's health. They use proven treatment to tailor a specific solution. No one-size-fits-all solution. Your appointment's only $99 for your initial visit. It includes a medical consultation, blood work, and, if medically advised, a tested dose right there in the office. Call today. Let's go, fellas. 615-208-9090, 208-9090, or TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Let's get off the bench back into the game with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for King and Associates Insurance, your home and your auto, 2 of your biggest investments in your lifetime, right? And at King and Associates Insurance, they protect both with coverage that fits your life and your budget. Whether you're a first-time homeowner, a growing family, or shopping for better auto rates, they make it quite simple. They don't get pushy at King and Associates, which I love. And frankly, one of the reasons that I'm talking about them is I love the fact that they just give you honest, straightforward advice, personalized service, and policies that make sense for you and your family. They're local and independent. That's another reason that I absolutely love them. They work for you, not for the insurance company. They don't work for one particular insurance company. They shop around to make sure they're finding you the right plan for, wait for it now, you and your family. You'll find that they think about you and your family quite a bit at T King Insurance. TKinginsurance.com for more information, tkinginsurance.com, or call 329-8121. 329-8121 for a free quote today. Auto coverage that gives you peace of mind. That's 329-8121. King and Associates Insurance, protecting what matters most.
President Trump spoke more about those tariff dividends he wants to give some Americans. We'll tell you what he said coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Yeah, I like that. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you, all of you, for joining us on this Monday edition. It is the Monday before our Nashville Rescue Mission Radiothon, which happens 1 week from today. Very excited about that. Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first Nashville Rescue Mission Radiothon?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's going to be special. Jackson asked me earlier today, wait a minute, no breaks? No breaks. No commercial breaks. I mean, we take brief timeouts that give us an opportunity to go to the bathroom, get a drink of water or whatever. But during those times, we play, special vignettes that we have pre-prepared, focusing in and highlighting on some of the graduates of the Nashville Rescue Mission Life Recovery Program. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. I beg of you, it is my prediction. Listen to me now. We're going to break $300,000 this year. I think last year we got $288 in 14 hours, $288,000. And I don't know how many meals that translates to. I know this year we're going for 55,000 meals. I don't know how much money that translates to. But I want to beat our record from last year. And I need your help to do it. 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 And if you're driving down the highway right now going home, you look to the left of you and to the right of you, I need their help to do it too. So what we need to do is gather together and give to what a wonderful, worthwhile organization Nashville Rescue Mission truly is. They don't take any money from the government. They don't. You know why they don't take any money from the government? Because they want to pray with people. That's as bottom line as I can give it to you. They don't take any money from the government because if they did, they couldn't get down on their knees with you and pray that God, in his infinite blessing, offers you relief from whatever you're going through. That's pretty special. And I love this group of people. I love what they stand for, and we're going to talk all about it coming up 1 week from today, bright and early with Dan Mandis in the morning at 5 a.m. I will not be there at 5 a.m., but I will be there along a little bit later on. And then, of course, Chris Hand will be there, and Chad Benson will be there, and Matt Murphy will be there. Our entire team will be involved. Jackson, I believe you will be back here at home base, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe there. I don't know.
Is Ken going to be here?
I'm going to be here at home base.
Ken is holding down the fort at home base.
Just don't take my waiver.
Okay, I won't. Hey, which was the worst defeat? Oklahoma or Georgia?
Oklahoma, because Ken's too nice.
Because you lashed out at me.
Yeah, I could just scream
with impunity.
And
that makes sense. That makes sense. 4574. Hold on to that $1,000, and you let me know. You hold on to that money until 3:05. There's also, I'll say one more thing about the Nashville Rescue. There's also a little bit of a friendly competition. I'm not telling you when to give. I just beg of you to give as you can. Dig deep and give whatever you can. Whatever is in your budget and in your heart, give it. But there is, I will admit to you, a bit of a friendly competition amongst the hosts, and it obviously is all in good fun. But it also gets a little serious when we cut down to it. That each host wants to have more people give more money during their portion of the broadcast day than any other host. Now, I'm not telling you not to give during Dan Mandis' Nashville's Morning News, and you give a couple of bucks for Chris Hand, and you give one or two for Chad Benson, but when it comes to Matt Murphy, y'all know what to do. Come on now. We need it. All right, this, Matt, this is from 6045, before we get a break. I love all of our Super Text listeners. I love the fact that you are willing to pick up your phone and text us on the Super Text line. Thank you. From 6045 at 517 tonight. Matt sucks. Now, I want to know which Matt you're talking about. Are you talking about me? Because that's fair. Matt Van Epps? I don't know. But then 6045 goes on to say, we're starting a new conservative party, the Volunteer Party, and if you're over 50, you're not welcome. Ken, you and I are out.
That's not inclusive.
That's not very nice. That's not welcoming, loving. Now, Jackson, apparently, you're welcome. I pray Matt Van Epps loses so bad, and I'm going to laugh. And I said, are you a liberal? Common sense Republican, more in the likes of Randy Boyd, Bob Corker, Lamar Alexander, the men who built this state. You're welcome. Not the men who are crumbling it into the ground currently. UT Economist reports the hardest year financially is coming this year for Tennessee. Rainy day fund is dry. It was over $900 million. You support clowns. You better start playing devil's advocate unless you want to go down with them. Who's going down? I'm going down with who? Who do I support? Help me out here, 6045. Tell me how I believe. I'm listening. It's time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. President Trump repeating his intent to give some Americans a tariff dividend today. He says it'll be thousands of dollars for low-income and moderate to middle-income individuals sometime in the middle of next year. As for the national debt,
we're going to pay down debt. We have a lot of money from tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, this nation would be in serious trouble.
Full SNAP benefits being restored for Tennessee families this week. Department of Human Services says remaining November funds hitting EBT cards starting today. Anyone still waiting should see their full amount in the next few days. Officials confirmed December benefits will arrive on the usual schedule. And prices for many popular weight loss drugs are expected to come down for some customers. Novo Nordisk announcing a 30% drop for Wegovy and Ozempic for those who don't use insurance to pay for it. The price will now go to $199 a month for the first few months, then $349 a month after that. Here's ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula.
In the U.S. alone, there's close to 100 million people living with obesity. Making these medications more affordable could help millions with obesity-related illnesses, including chronic kidney disease, MASH liver disease, and cardiovascular disease.
And the Supreme Court says it will consider the Trump administration's bid to reinstate a policy of turning back asylum seekers at border crossings. It comes after an appeals court declared the policy unlawful. Looks like they're going to take that up in the spring and then a decision coming by the end of June. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Franklin Highway Patrol says there's a crash 840 westbound right before 65. Then looking at the map here, still looking pretty slow going if you are eastbound 440 over to 65, also over to 24 there on 440. Eastbound South Loop over to 65, then northbound 65 up to the South Loop. A lot of brake tapping. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Men of Valor. Had a wonderful conversation with the group at Men of Valor talking about our Day on the Ridge, which is happening less than a month from now. I'm very excited about it. It's an opportunity for us to focus in on Men of Valor and exactly what they do for our communities. The Valor Ridge is a wonderful, wonderful residential academy for the formerly incarcerated. Because of your support, they provide a home and a healthy environment for almost 100 men at a time in Nashville and an additional 30 men in Knoxville. It's a welcome opportunity. They transition back into life. They do so in a way that makes that transition easier. Their hearts have turned around, but they don't know how to do a lot of things when they get out of the system. And so the Valor Ridge community helps them do just that. The army of staff and volunteers minister directly to the incarcerated at Men of Valor. It's a wonderful thing to see these men whose lives have truly been changed and turned around. Will you help? You will lower the recidivism rate if you do, and that's a wonderful thing, too. Go to movministry.com. That's movministry.com. Give as you can, either through volunteerism or through your generous donations during the holiday season. We appreciate you. It's Men of Valor. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So my buddy, the Super Texter 6045. By the way, the rainy day fund is not dry, and I was told by 6045, you support clowns. You better start playing devil's advocate unless you want to go down with them. You know you're an ass kisser. So I said, just in the interest of conversation, who's the best elected official in Tennessee? That's a pretty simple question, right? All right, this person says, I support the wrong people. This person says, I'm a booty kisser. Okay, fair. All right, fine. You're not. That's fair. Whatever. Who do you consider to be the best elected official in Tennessee? Here's the response. Matt would say that it's Governor Lee while he steps on the bus to kiss more butt. Matt is being used and doesn't even know it.
There's a bus for these kind of things?
I went on a bus ride with Lee and Speaker Cameron Sexton. They were doing a re-election junket last year, and they invited me to be on the bus and speak to an event, and I did it. That's what he's referencing. So it's a long-time listener here.
How was the bus?
It was nice.
Snacks?
They had, I think they had Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that's nice.
One of those breakfast biscuits.
Oh.
I know that. You know what I did? This is a true story.
You stuffed a bunch in your pocket?
Congressman John Rose, he had some Mountain Dews, Diet Mountain Dews in the refrigerator on the bus, and I stole one. Well, I took one, and then I sat down, and I popped it open, and I said, ooh, I love me a Diet Mountain Dew. And John said, yeah, those are mine. I was like, oh, well, thank you, John. Didn't know I was taking that from you there, buddy. But no, who do you say is the best elected official in Tennessee? You apparently hate everybody. You loved Bob Corker, and you loved Lamar Alexander, two men that I'm consistently seeing on the Super Text line are considered to be corrupt swamp dwellers. I'm not saying they are. I'm not. I was this before my time. I'm not here to besmirch their good names. 70785. You got free God's chicken and Mountain Dew. That's exactly right. 40 after the hour. We'll get back to this nonsense in a moment. Plus, it almost occurred to me to make the federal government or the government of the United States of America our nincompoop in the news. I felt like it would be unfair and a little too easy. Did y'all know Amelia Earhart? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Amelia Earhart?
Yeah, lady got lost while flying a plane.
Mm-hmm. Proved that, women shouldn't be pilots, basically. But anyway, so
I didn't say that.
I also didn't.
I'm joking. Well, she disappeared in 1937. Do y'all know that the government records on her disappearance were classified until this year? And it took Trump to declassify them.
Why were they classified, I wonder?
I don't know.
Have you looked into them?
I've not, but apparently she got lost and she stopped to ask directions. And that's what happened. That's why you should never stop to ask directions if you get lost.
Especially mid-flight.
Just keep right on going. 41 after the hour. It's time for Nincompoops in the News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's going on?
Nincompoops in the News.
Yeah, I felt like it'd be too easy if I went the Amelia Earhart Nincompoops route, and so I went a different way. It is Matt Murphy. It is Jackson Williams. It is the returning Ken Weaver. It's time for Nincompoops in the News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We give you 3 stories, and you have an opportunity to vote on one of the 3. Who is the Nincompoop of the day? Ken's been out. I've been out. I don't remember who won Friday. And so Ken gets to go first.
I do?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'm going to use this one then. And
Let's
you
go.
boys let me know if you already did.
All right.
All right, here we go. According to Turkish news outlet NTV, 50-year-old Beyhan Mutlu had been out drinking with friends in the province of Bursa. At some point during the evening, he wandered into a nearby forest and did not return. Concerned for his safety, his wife and friends contacted authorities to report him missing. Local police quickly organized a search effort to comb through the forested area. Mutlu, unaware that he was the person everyone was looking for, came across the very group searching for him and decided to lend a hand. He joined the volunteers and police, walking through the forest for hours, helping call out his own name, without realizing he was the subject of the search. The confusion came to an abrupt end when one of the searchers called out, "Behan Mutlu!" And Mutlu responded without hesitation, "I am here."
He was helping him.
At that point, a rescuer took him aside to get his details and understand what was going on. "Don't punish me too harshly, officer. My father will kill me," Mutlu reportedly said to NTV.
There's a scene from a movie where, it's Indiana Jones, the third one where they think Indy goes over the cliff and he does it, and his buddy and his dad are standing there. "Oh no!" And Indy's standing there next to him, and he's looking over the cliff with him. Is that what? What's his name? Mutlu.
That's old Behan Mutlu.
Behan Mutlu. What?
Behan.
I am here. Skinweaver.
I am here.
How can I help thee? That's pretty funny.
We've been looking for you.
Behan's a nincompoop.
Yeah,
and that's a pretty good story.
Behan Mutlu.
Jackson.
Yes, sir.
You're a nincompoop, sir.
All right. Former Pennsylvania police chief accused of dealing cocaine and stealing a law enforcement rifle. A former chief of police in western Pennsylvania is facing drugs and weapon charges after authorities say he was allegedly caught trying to sell cocaine and was also in possession of a stolen law enforcement rifle. Wow. Investigators with the state attorney general's office say 56-year-old Eric Doubt, who was reportedly employed as an officer with the UPMC, was under police surveillance when he allegedly tried to deal the drugs in Armstrong County. Authorities say he is also alleged to have stolen an AR-style rifle from the evidence locker at his former department in Westmoreland County. Attorney General Sunday of Pennsylvania said this type of conduct by a trusted officer of the law violates the oath he took to keep our communities safe. Mm-hmm. As a sworn officer, he was duty-bound to remove these dangers from the community, and instead, we allege he peddled these poisons. Investigators note UPMC was helpful in assisting agents throughout the investigation.
Not only is that a good nincompoop story, can we just take a moment to note how much better Jackson has gotten delivering his stories?
Brother Jackson's got a great delivery.
He's got a great delivery going on.
I'm just following Weaver's lead.
You know, I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, the great Ken Weaver will never be matched, as we both know, but it's pretty fine delivery, Jackson.
The man in the news closet.
News Closet B.
News Closet B. Not to be confused
Where's
with
News Closet A?
News Closet A is across the hall. They have a window in News Closet A.
Is it nicer?
It's much nicer. Have you seen it?
No.
I'll show it to you later. It's much nicer.
Doesn't have a deck of dad jokes, though.
No deck of dad jokes. No Oklahoma cookie. Is your Oklahoma cookie still up?
It's still there, dude. Hiding in the corner. Dirty, low down. And then the cracker is the O in Oklahoma.
I don't think y'all have lost since that cookie went up.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, well, you know, I was hoping, maybe that cookie's not the luck. Let me tell you, your defense doesn't need luck. All right, here's my nincompoop real quick. Well, I have two to choose from. Will y'all help me choose?
Yes, sir.
I could go 81 Monkeys or High Pilots.
I'm using the second one for tomorrow, so do the Monkeys.
You should have said that, Brother Jackson.
Let's go to Tampa, where JetBlue pilots.
Come on!
I mean,
come on!
What am I supposed to do, Jackson?
You're not going to win either way. I thought that one wasn't great. I just needed one.
What? You think the 81 Monkeys would be better?
You know what? I'll do it. I'll just do it. All right. So JetBlue flight in Tampa, Florida. It's on its way to Boston's Logan Airport, right, Matt?
Uh-huh,
I'm
right.
not reading any of this, by the way.
Right.
And a passenger in, I believe, seat 1F was smoking a marijuana vape in the lavatory.
Uh-huh.
And some of the crew inhaled it.
Uh-huh.
So they had to turn the plane around and go back to Boston's Logan Airport, and they declared it an emergency.
Uh-huh.
And the person was arrested.
Yes. It was in 1F, by the way.
I got the seat number right. Ken, am I looking at the computer?
No, sir, you're not.
No. That's the basic details. So
Now do the monkey one.
Some guy vaped, and they had to turn the flight around. Wasn't a very good story.
Secondhand vape.
You got suckered, Jackson. Just suckered.
No, I got to do 2 nincompoops. Now there's votes coming everywhere for me.
Thai Rangers, that's as in Thailand,
Yes, sir.
have arrested 2 men suspected of being part of an international wildlife smuggling network. The military said Saturday after they intercepted a car carrying 81 macaw. Is it macaw monkeys?
I believe so.
Macaw monkeys?
Yeah.
Near the Cambodian border. Thailand, you see, is a major transit hub for wildlife smugglers who often sell highly prized endangered creatures on the lucrative black market in China, Taiwan, and Southeast Asia, where these creatures filter throughout the rest of the known world. A patrol stopped a vehicle on Friday afternoon in a certain district that I cannot pronounce of the Sakya province. Sakya.
The what?
The Sakya province.
The what, Matt?
That's the
What's it called? Say it one more time.
Sakya province. There's an E in there. I think I'm missing the E. There's a lot of vowels. There's only like 2. There's
Whole bunch of.
There's an S and a K, and the rest
Just
are
do it
vowels, brother.
One more for me.
I think it's actually Sakyo.
Sakyo.
Sakyo. I saw. I don't know. Province where troops found the monkeys stuffed into blue bags. Oh, poor monkey. Yo, be cool with the monkeys, man. At 3:20 in the p.m., authorities arrested the 2 suspects and inspected their vehicle. According to the 12th Ranger Forces Regiment, who is responsible in the area, they counted them up and they found 81 separate monkeys. But that's not why I'm telling you the story. They also found multiple bags of crystal meth, because why wouldn't you go ahead and smuggle in your crystal meth while you're smuggling in your monkeys?
Yeah.
If I had $1, Ken Weaver, for every time I see a monkey, I know there's crystal meth not far behind. I just know it. During questioning, the men admitted they were involved in a cross-border trafficking ring, moving the macaw monkeys from Thailand into Cambodia, but they denied knowledge of the crystal meth.
Don't know anything about that.
Yeah. We got the monkeys, but I don't know about the meth.
You know how them monkeys are.
You know, they should have blamed the monkeys. That meth's got to belong to them monkeys.
Yeah.
That's how we play Nincompoops in the News. There's 3 monkeys: Ken Weaver, Jackson Williams, and Matt Murphy. Vote early, vote often. No, I did not call it 50-70. You got a nasty mind.
Oh. Somebody thinking dirty thoughts.
I said it's the Sakha province. Weaver's getting votes. Murphy wins today. Over the radio, it keeps sounding like you're saying suck off. I'm not saying.
That's why I kept asking you to keep saying it.
Suck off. Y'all are dirty people. Jackson's disqualified for being filthy dirty.
No
Nasty
morality.
Nasty. Young folks these days. We'll be back in a moment. That's Nincompoops in the News. Vote 615-737-9986. Super Talk 99.7. Hello, friends. Genesis Diamonds is presenting the holiday love event of the year, the biggest and final sale of 2025. It's this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Store-wide savings of 20, 30, even 35% off items, engagement rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets. It's the biggest and final sale of the year. If you've lived here a while, you know this is the biggie. Designers will be here with their entire collections. Luxury pre-owned Rolexes are included. 0 interest financing also available on approved credit exclusively at Genesis Diamonds. And get moving on your fall engagement. Get moving on early shopping for Christmas. Whatever the occasion, do not miss the incredible savings event. This is the one, folks. If you're looking for the home run gift for the holidays, you want to go ahead and bag that and be done with it and don't have to worry about it anymore. 3 days only, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Genesis Diamonds. 2 locations, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Exclusively at Genesis Diamonds. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Genesis for this one-of-a-kind 3-day sale. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Genesis.
Hear what President Trump had to say about tariff dividends and the Epstein files coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Brace for impact. Weaver in a landslide.
All right.
I mean, this is just a cornucopia, a hodgepodge of responses to conversation that's happened over the last half hour. For example, it's believed she was killed by the Japanese. I guess that's in reference to Amelia Earhart.
Oh.
Have y'all heard, though, that they so they declassified this stuff and they just released it like yesterday, but they so she went to or was a professor at Purdue University. And before she left on this intercontinental, I mean, she was around the world flight or whatever, she promised that when she got back, she would donate the airplane to Purdue for display. So Purdue has an investment in all of this, and apparently they've been looking for the airplane for a long, long time because they want their airplane. And they apparently have found an anomaly under the water just off of an island in the vicinity of where she was believed to have crashed. And they are going there this spring. They were planning on leaving like a week ago. I'm not making any, it sounds like I'm making all of this up. I'm not making any of this up. They were planning on leaving like November 4th, but it's typhoon season where they have to go. And there were some other monetary concerns, and they couldn't get, I know what it was, permitting. They had to get a permit from the people that legally own the island or the country that legally owns the island. Long story short, they're leaving in spring, and they're going, and if this might be your airplane. And you can find the images online of what they believe is an aircraft or some sort of metallic object in the water right off an island in the area where she impacted. So, oh, sorry. Didn't mean to. That's a audio representation of what I feel like. You know, the last thing that, remember that joke, the last thing that went through Amelia Earhart's mind?
I do not. Are you going to say it?
Her butt is the punchline.
Oh.
I didn't want to do that. Ken made me.
Time for the news.
Six o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We're tracking a threat of severe weather for tomorrow. Tell you about it during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. President Trump repeating his intent to give some Americans a tariff dividend he says will be thousands of dollars for low-income and middle-income individuals. Sometime in the middle of next year, he says tariffs will then be used to pay down the national debt.
The numbers that we've taken in, if you talk about investments, is trillions, not with a B, not with an M, millions, but trillions of dollars.
That's not all the media asked Trump about.
President Trump said Monday that House Republicans can do whatever they want when they vote tomorrow to compel the Justice Department to release the Epstein files.
We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it.
But he said he doesn't want lawmakers talking about it too much because it's taking away from the work his administration is doing. And he said the Epstein issue is a, quote, Democrat problem. The president could order the release of the files without Congress taking this action. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Here in Tennessee, full SNAP benefits are returning to families this week. The Department of Human Services says anyone who received only part of their November benefits will see the rest added to their EBT card starting today. Those who haven't received any benefits yet should expect the full amount in the coming days. And officials say December SNAP benefits will be issued on the regular schedule. Meanwhile, prices for many popular weight loss drugs expected to come down for some customers. Novo Nordisk announced a 30% drop for Wegovy and Ozempic for those who don't use insurance to pay for it. The price will now go to $199 a month for the first few months, then $349 a month after. More from ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula, who says Novo Nordisk is also waiting for FDA approval on a pill.
And on the horizon, non-injectable weight loss medications in the form of a daily pill, which they say will be even less expensive when available, starting at $149 a month.
And how soon can the next batch of college graduates expect to land a job?
In 2025, companies from Amazon to Zillow have trimmed their workforces, leaving members of the class of 2026 wondering where their first job will come from. More than half of the companies surveyed by the National Association of Colleges and Employers rate the job market next spring as fair at best, the most pessimistic outlook since the first year of the pandemic.
That's Jim Ryan and the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a crash blocking the left shoulder 24 eastbound at Murfreesboro Pike, and then in Berry Hill, 65 northbound at Armory Drive. South Loop, police reporting a crash 65 northbound right before the South Loop. And in Franklin, Highway Patrol reporting a crash 840 westbound before 65. Rolling Mill Hill, police reporting a crash 24 downtown. That's going to be westbound just past the eastern split. And then in Hermitage, 40 eastbound before Stewart's Ferry Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll jump on the phones in the final hour of the Matt Murphy Show this Monday edition, November 17. Turkey Day right around the corner. Gobble, gobble. By the way, speaking of that, this Thursday, I am out Friday. I am on a real estate we are hunting some real estate. We're doing some property investment research, and we've got a financial symposium that we have to go to. That would be my man Jay St. Clair and myself. Financial symposium and real estate seminar happening this Friday and Saturday, and so I will not be here on Friday. That said, next week, obviously, Thursday is Thanksgiving, and we are given Friday as a company holiday, and so we will take it. And so we will be out Thursday and Friday. However, this coming Thursday at this time, 6 o'clock, a very special guest, Holly from Savory Spice, is going to stop by, and she's going to give us all of the Thanksgiving tips that you need. So if you've got any questions about how to cook what, she's going to be here for you. That's Holly with Savory Spice. Will be in studio with us. She's very nervous about it. She doesn't like the idea of being on camera, but we saw her over the weekend and very excited. Yes, Jackson.
If you hit a turkey with a brick, is it still good to eat?
Well, that is a question that you perhaps can ask Miss Holly coming up this Thursday at 6 p.m. on the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk. I've hit a turkey with my car. A lot of damage. Not my car, Erica's car. And we were dating. We weren't even engaged at that point, I don't think. Just busted. I remember, Ken, the last thing I said, I was traveling down the interstate, and I was late. I was trying to get to Atlanta. I was in E's car.
Yep.
She had a little Ford Escort at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I'm behind this truck, and we're both going about 85 miles an hour. And I see the turkey. You know how you can see them. They're off on the side of the road in the distance, and I see them. There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
And as the truck blew by those turkeys, it kind of it flustered them, and they flew. And domesticated turkeys can't fly at all.
No.
Wild turkeys can fly short distances.
Yes, they can.
And so the 2 of them, I saw 2 of them go up, and they went to the right, which would be into the woods. The third one went up and went to the left, which would be right across the roadway. And he was trying to get elevation, baby. And the last thing I said before he smacked into that windshield was, "Get up!" Bam! Scared holy hell out of me.
Yeah, did it come through the windshield?
No, it didn't. It cracked up. It bent up the hood and cracked the windshield and just went floop. And flew over and hit the car behind me. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
That's what you call a drive turkey.
As opposed to a
jive
turkey. I see what you did there.
What do you think about that, Brother Murphy?
I see what you did there, you jive turkeys. That's very exciting. That's not real.
What's that?
Jackson. That's not real online too, is it? I'm in trouble. I think I'm in trouble, Ken.
Who is it?
It's apparently Trace Atkins.
Well,
online
let's
too.
hope you're not in trouble.
I don't think I'm in trouble. I saw Trace at the Titans game yesterday, and what an incredible halftime. And I don't know how the man keeps it together, because what an emotional halftime show where he's talking about. He had a World War II veteran. World War II, Ken, that was 101 years old.
Yes, sir.
Standing with him at the center of Nissan Stadium, right there on the Titans logo. Was that Trace Atkins?
That is awesome.
Yes, and I'm working on setting something up for maybe him to come in studio.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
I love the man. Love him to death. And let me tell you something. We had our good friends Tim and Felicia Melton. And Felicia's a young whippersnapper. She's pregnant with their second baby.
All right.
And they were with us in the the radio network area where we were sitting. And she is a huge Trace Atkins fan.
Yeah.
And she was like salivating. She saw him go, "Oh, there he is. Y'all be quiet." We had to be quiet.
You had to be quiet.
When he's walking out on the
Trace
field.
Atkins.
Y'all be quiet. Trace Atkins is passing. So that's exciting. Well, I hope, Trace, we can set all that up.
By the way, they had that all over the national news tonight.
Oh, the
Trace Atkins doing that with the
good,
veterans.
Yeah, man, that was so good. And they reunited a veteran. What they did. Hold on, before I get to Deacon, I'll tell you, Ken. They They said it was a family who they haven't seen their father. He was in, I think, Afghanistan. I might have that right. No, not Afghanistan. Maybe it's Kuwait. I don't know where it was.
Somewhere.
It was somewhere in the Middle East, and I'm sorry that I don't know. It wasn't Afghanistan, obviously, because we're not over there anymore. But maybe it's Kuwait. One way or the other, they said, they said this is the family, and he's been gone for this amount of time, and he's set to be back 6 months from now. If y'all, they do the head fake, man, real good. They said, turn your attention to the video board, and it was a message. And he goes, hey, guys, I wish I could be there. Love y'all. Miss y'all so much. But, we'll be together soon. I won't be there for the holidays, but, the new year. And as they're watching him on the screen, he's walking out onto the field, buddy.
Yeah.
And the reunification, those two children, they just run to him and just jump in daddy's arms. Oh.
Yeah. It'll get you.
I mean, it gets dusty real quick, if you know what I'm saying. Dusty real quick. Deacon is next. Hey, Deacon, thank you for your patience. How are you? Hello, Deacon. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, hey, it's actually Higgins, man. I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Well, we only, in Jackson's defense, he got one letter out of the 6 right. So
hey, that's okay. That's okay. I give him an A for effort. Okay.
I'd give him like a Q for effort.
Well, listen, I honestly, I have been listening lately. I used to listen to y'all all the time, and I found out recently that there's a trend in the, elected officials in downtown Nashville. And I actually contacted this Olivia person. He calls himself a woman's name, but he's a dude, and he talks to children right around Nashville. So I just didn't know if y'all knew anything about it. I reached out to him.
You're talking about Olivia Hill?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even live in Davidson County, but I wanted to bring, this to someone's attention because I don't think it's right for him to be reading to kids.
Is he reading to kids? I don't know.
Yeah, I reached out to him and I told him, hey man, God doesn't make mistakes. I hope you, turn to God and I'll be praying for you, but I need you to understand it's not right for you because I asked him. I just came out and asked him. I said, do you happen to go around to schools and talk to children? And he said, yeah. And so I just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention because I'm just one guy. I'm a father. And I just want us to try to start standing up for our kids. And I just don't think that's right. And so I wanted to bring it to your attention. Again, I don't know if y'all talked about it or anything like that, but.
I would suggest, I think it's up to the individual. Here's my take on it, Deacon, and you might not like it. I said Deacon again, Higgins. You might not like it. But this is just my take on it. That we believe, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to let you listen, and if you want to call back and respond to me, that's fine. But I don't want you to have to hold through this diatribe because this is going to take a minute. If you believe in America the way that I believe in America, then you believe and understand that America is so strong in its concepts of individual liberty and your ability to chart your own course and your freedom and your independence to live a life of your choosing. We believe in liberty so much. We believe in freedom so much that I believe that you are allowed in America to do things that I might detest, that I might abhor, so long as you are not violating the rights of others, so long as you are not taking away my rights to live a life of my own choosing. We live in a country that values freedom to the point that we do not require you to believe in a higher power, even as I call on a higher power and I pray to a higher power to help you see the light. We believe in freedom so much that we allow people to live in our country, that grow up in our country, to hate it. It's hard, but we do. And I love freedom and I love liberty so much that I agree with that. So I disagree with any sort of drag shows. I disagree with any sort of drag queen shows being presented to anyone underage. I do not believe that those children should be exposed to that. And I think much like, allowing children to be exposed to alcohol or whatnot, that's a different matter. However, if we are to say, and, it's easy to say, well, we shouldn't let these, I don't know what the nature of the reading you're talking about. If this is, I know that Olivia Hill is a member, I guess Olivia Hill is a member of the Metro Nashville city council, I guess. I think that's right. So Courtney tells me that the Metro Nashville public school system allows that sort of thing to go on. I would not allow it in the public school system. But I would also recommend to you that we be careful about what we suggest grown people are allowed to do and not allowed to do in society. I'm not condoning it. And because it's legal doesn't mean that I think it's right. I don't believe that God makes mistakes. Well, here's the thing. What they are telling me, what legitimately gender dysphoria, because there's way too much of this garbage that's going on that isn't gender dysphoria. But what people who claim that they're truly gender dysphoria, I think Bruce Jenner, right? What Bruce Jenner told me was that a mistake was made. Now, you can say, well, God made a mistake, but a mistake was made. That a condition of his birth was a mistake. And when I've talked to people who call themselves transgender like this, they get mad. They're, oh, mistake. And I was like, well, that's you telling me that. That's not me telling anyone else that. That's you telling me that. You're claiming that you should have been born a boy and you were born a girl, or you should have been born a girl and you were born a boy. That you had the wrong parts. You had a girl's brain and a boy's body, or a boy's brain and a girl's body. That's what you say. So you're telling me a mistake was made. Well, it's not up to me to correct the mistake or to accept that a mistake was made at all. That's your life of your choosing, and you're welcome to do it. But don't expect that the totality of society is going to alter itself based on what you're telling me is a mistake. Now, once again, I'm not trying to be hard-ass about this. If you're genuinely gender dysphoric, you're telling me an error was made in your creation. Am I wrong about and how I'm describing this? And you say that the entirety of society should change the way that we live because of what you self-admittedly call a mistake. That's not the way we should operate. At the same time, it is unfair, as you know, and I don't tell parents how to do their business, but I will say this. If we believe that everyone has a right to live a life of their own choosing, and some dude wants to dress up like a woman and walk around Walmart like a woman, that should not be illegal. You start making weirdos illegal, well, there's going to be a lot of crowded jails, right? Now, the whole concept of allowing in the public school system these people to read to children or whatever, that's a different deal entirely. And I would agree with Higgins that I don't know that I agree that we should be entering those types of discussions. You're inviting discussions that I don't want my child to have when my child's 8 years old. And parents should have a say in all of that. But I would also say that at some point your kid's going to figure out that there are people out in the world that are gender dysphoric, that there are people that would say a mistake was made or an error was made. And they're going to be exposed to this at some point. And they can either be exposed to it on your terms or they can find out about it unawares. Higgins, I hope that made sense to you.
Are you mind if I respond real quick?
That's why I put you back on the radio, Higgins.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say yes. As far as anybody's concerned, I'm not saying that as a free country we have to start telling people what to do. But I thought it was interesting you said that as long as we're not violating someone else's freedoms, and that is where, a dude walking into a school talking to children, that's definitely a violation of those children. So I think that should be something that is discussed. I think that it is something as Americans, at least myself, God-fearing American, that, I want to make sure that all schools, not just where I live, but all schools in my state, adhere to, if we say we are a God-fearing country, then we might, if we say that God makes mistakes, then that just basically, takes away all credibility to the Christian faith. So I think that if we, start saying that, then, that just opens up a can of everything else. But when it comes down to it, I don't care what somebody else does in their own home. I just think that it is inappropriate and quite disgusting that you would let someone like that, not you personally, but that they would let someone like that talk to children. And I think that
under what context is this person talking to the kids?
Well, I didn't, he hung up on me. He didn't really, say much after that. I think he was trying to boast about it. I said, I'm going to try to, make my voice known about it, and, that's all you need to know. I'll be praying for you. And that's all I said. I didn't threaten or anything like that, but I wanted to make sure that I brought my voice up on the radio is the only way I really knew how. I tried to call the Republican Party of Tennessee, the parents' rights of Tennessee. I haven't been able to get in touch with anybody yet. And so, like I said, I'm trying, but, whenever you had talked about something earlier made me think about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to call just to put it out there, and maybe this is the start of something we can do to help the kids in Metro. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I disagree. Introducing those things within the public school arena is just for the sake of introducing those things is ridiculous. I think it's a little bit different if this person is a public official, only in as much as in their they've been elected as a public official, so in their capacity as a public official, like if you take a school trip to see the city council or something, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. That's just a child being. That's just going to be a child being exposed to things in the world that we, as Christian people, are going to disagree with.
Of course.
But I would agree. But I would agree with you that it's just you're rolling down a bad road when you try to introduce these concepts in arenas where the children are just too young, and that the parents don't want them to be exposed to it. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely, man. But I'm going to let y'all alone, man. I hope you have a blessed day.
Hey, look, Higgins, thank you. I appreciate you letting me get past the lengthy explanation there. 25 after the hour on Super Talk. What is up, friends and neighbors? It's Matt Murphy, and I want to tell you for a moment about the one and only Glock Store. They got the big holiday plans going on. A lot of parties happening at the Glock Store. A lot of things going on, but they're never too busy to see you. And right now, they want to see you right after Thanksgiving. That's right. Celebrate Thanksgiving. Eat some of the bird. Eat some of that dressing. But then, on the day after, get out to the one and only Glock Store for their huge Glock Store sale operation. This year, they're going to blow the doors off every Black Friday sale you've ever been to. As a matter of fact, it's going to be more like a party with food trucks and discounts on just about everything in the store and the latest and greatest performance products and just anything you can imagine that the Glock store has ever done in the past. Just double that, triple that, quadruple that. You might be the first person you know to get your hands on the all-new Glock V model handguns. That's right, the Glock V model handguns. Anyone who's ever been to the Glock store can tell you they have more Glocks than you can conceptualize in your brain. I mean, they call themselves the Glock store for a reason. And this first annual Black Friday celebration is going to continue the tradition of the Glock store offering the best discounts around. Glockstore.com or shoot270.com. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for Savory Spice. I got to talk to Holly over the weekend. We went by Savory Spice. And look at what, if you're watching on camera, look at this. You're seeing that I've got the Run Amok box, and I'm going to show you something that is not currently available. But you're going to be able to get it the day after Thanksgiving. So this is, they always have the Run Amok brand syrup, which is excellent maple syrup. But every year, this is the huge seller that always sells out. It is the Run Amok limited release Snow Globe Sparkle Syrup. That's right. These are sparklies that you can see and that you can eat and that the kids absolutely love. It's for the holidays. You put this on pancakes, waffles, or whatever goodness, French toast or whatever it is, deliciousness, and the kids will go insane. And it is available exclusively at Savory Spice. It might be available somewhere else, but the only place that I would get it is Savory Spice. We stocked up, man. We got stuff for the turkey. We got stuff for the fixins for Thanksgiving because I believe in celebrating Thanksgiving. And we got free to me to display to you Run Amok Sparkle Syrup. That's not going to be available until after Thanksgiving. So get it at Savory Spice. It's located right there in Franklin, just off the square. Go by, see Holly and the rest of the crew. You'll smell it before you see it. It is the smells of the aromas are so delicious. And ask them about the Run Amok syrup that you can get after Thanksgiving exclusively at Savory Spice. Hello. I'm an idiot. I got a little snacky. I don't normally eat while I'm doing the show. Jackson can vouch for that. But I was feeling a little low blood sugar, and so I got a little bar. Took a big old bite of it right before we came back on the air.
Did you put a little bit of that sparkly syrup on it?
I did not. I wanted to, boy. Howdy. How you doing, Jackson? Feel free to be lengthy in your answer.
I'm doing good, just hanging out. Monday, great day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, finish your food.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Hey, did you think to put the Matt Murphy movie review mayhem deal on the hotkey, or did you forget to do that? Or I don't think I ever asked you to do that. We need to do that because we need to do the Matt Murphy movie review.
What's the song called again?
It's called Hooray for Hollywood. Hooray for The CMA Awards are coming to Nashville, Tennessee. Is everybody excited about that? Road closures start today, I believe, and extend throughout the course of the week. I haven't gotten to so much. I haven't gotten to the Stossel Report. Life in America is better than we've ever had it. We talked briefly about Christmas decorations. Yuck. Don't do Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving. Thank you. And I said, I am of the opinion that all things considered, we have it better now in the United States of America than we've ever had it. I don't think there's any question about it. I want to talk about the Epstein files for what it's worth. Donald Trump came out over the weekend and said, let's go. Let's release them. And I'm like, what is the holdup? And I can help you understand because several of my liberal friends, they like to play dumb. Well, he called it a hoax. What's to release if it's a hoax? The hoax is how the media has treated the story. The hoax is that they want it to be a Trump story and not an Epstein story, a Trump story and not a power story, a Trump story and not a billionaire, millionaire story, a Trump story and not a broad story about sexual trafficking, a Trump story first, foremost, and last. That is the hoax. The way that they're treating this story, the way that they're trying to pervert the story into a Trump-exclusive story is the hoax. That's what he's talking about, and it's not that hard to understand. Look. This is the new Russia for the mainstream media. This is the new Ukraine for the mainstream media. This is the new releases tax records for the mainstream media. This is the new lawfare, the lawsuit in New York. So Russia was going to ruin him, right? Remember that? Ukraine and that impeachment was going to ruin him. Remember that? Jan 6th was going to ruin him. Remember that? Releasing his tax returns was going to ruin him. Remember that? This lawsuit in New York City was going to ruin him. Remember that? The lawsuit in Georgia was going to ruin him. Remember that? The charges against him in Florida ruin him. Remember that? I could go on. How many times do they have to tell us that this is the one that's going to destroy the man before we realize that they don't have anything to destroy the man? As our friend Jay St. Clair likes to say on Fridays during Friday, he's 100% right. Donald Trump is the most investigated human being ever on planet Earth. And I defy you to tell me someone else that beats him. The most investigated human being on planet Earth is the President of the United States of America. And you cannot convince me that had there been anything within the Epstein files that would have damaged Donald Trump beyond repair or forced him to resign the presidency, they would have dumped it out so he would not have won the presidency. Donald Trump says, release it. It's a distraction. I'm tired of it being a distraction. Release all of it. I'm all for it. Let's go. Let's release it all. Let's make it happen. And I, for one, and I understand that reasonable people, reasonable talk show hosts can disagree on this point. I, for one, am not going to go, well, it's never going to happen, so screw it. Let's go. Let's make it happen. And let the chips fall where they may. Sadly, here's the reality. No one is ever going to be satisfied about the Epstein files. If we get everything the government currently has. And oh, by the way, what is stopping? Serious question, y'all. What's stopping the public victim, the victims that have come forward? I'm not talking about the victims that wish to remain anonymous. I'm talking about the victims that have come forward, that have stepped forward, that have shown their face, that say, I was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. I experienced this. I know what happened. Why don't they name names? And before you say, well, Matt, they can't name names because obviously they would be sued, do you understand how much money we could raise in their defense? They would not be out a single dime. Do you understand that there are ways to name names without naming names? You know what I mean? Why don't we go? Why are we waiting on the government? Why is Thomas Massey not naming names? Why is Marjorie Taylor Greene not naming names? If y'all know the names of these people, Massey says he knows 20 of them. Name them. Get them all out there. Let's go. I'll read them today. I'm not afraid of this. And if you were someone that was in the orbit of Jeffrey Epstein and you want to make sure that people understand that you were never on the island, you never did anything untoward, it is up to you to step forward and say, as Donald Trump has, I was associated with him, I knew him, I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, he was a weirdo. Move on. Bill Clinton went to the island. Bill Clinton got back rubs from Virginia Giuffre. Photographic evidence. It's up to Bill Clinton to exonerate himself. I'm not accusing him of anything. Someone else is. Other people are. Let's go. But the manner in which the mainstream media is treating this story, they want it to be a Trump-exclusive story. They don't want it to involve other politicians. They don't want it to involve particularly Democrats. And so you have what you have. I'm here for it. I'm ready for the openness and the sunshine and the light, which is a great disinfectant. I'm going to get to Ricky real quick, and then we'll do our movie review. Ricky is up next. Hey, Ricky.
Hey, how you doing?
Ricky, I ain't doing no more. I'm just kidding. I'm doing all right.
Good. The comment I heard earlier
was just a joke.
Really upset me when they said God made a mistake. God Almighty does not make mistakes. They can believe it's a free country, whatever they want to believe, and I will believe what I want to believe. And on the day of judgment, we'll stand up for what we believe.
Well, you know what? There are things that happen on planet Earth that I don't pretend to understand, Ricky. There are issues that happen on Earth that I don't pretend to understand why it's allowed to happen. But it's not for me to understand, is it?
No.
So, I understand the belief, and I understand that we get confused. I also understand that there are some people that don't believe in God, and I'm sad for them, but it is what it is. I mean, so it's difficult for you. The point I'm making, Ricky, is it's difficult to make an argument to someone who doesn't believe in God that God doesn't make mistakes when they're telling you that they're gay or they're transgender, right? If they say that they're transgender and I say God doesn't make mistakes, and they say I don't believe in God. And I say, well, okay, well, I hope you find religion at some point down your life,
I hear you.
But Ricky, thank you for the call. I understand the faith-based argument behind that. I also understand there's a lot of things that happen on Earth that I don't understand or I have a difficult time with. There are people that go through, good people, faithful people that go through some of the most unimaginable emotional trauma and turmoil. And I admit that I sometimes struggle with all of that because I don't get it. But I'm not supposed to get it, nor are you. That's not for us to understand right now. I understand this. It's 48 after the hour, and it's high time that Jackson Williams tells us exactly what he thought about the great Bull Durham. Let's do it. It is the Matt Murphy and Jackson Williams Madcap Mayhem movie review. This should be sponsored. Your sponsorship opportunity is right here. I could say sponsored by blah, 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 while the music's playing, but we don't have a sponsor for it yet, but maybe we'll get one at some point. I'll give you a little skin in that game if we do, Jackson. How about that? All right. So you want me to go first since I did two?
No, I'll go first because mine's going to be quick.
Okay.
So Bull Durham.
Jackson was given the movie Bull Durham.
1987 comedy film starring Kevin Costner, and Tim Robbins. So I've been on a little bit of a Tim Robbins kick the last 2 weeks with Shawshank Redemption and Bull Durham.
Susan Sarandon in that film, too.
So here's my problem with the movie.
You have a problem with the movie?
No, it's not a problem with the movie. It's a problem with you and Ken. Because the best lines in the movie, you and Ken have quoted to me over the last 3 months. And so I knew, I felt like it wasn't as funny to me. I was like, oh, that's the thing, Matt and Ken have said to me over the past couple of months. So I did not enjoy it as I feel like a normal viewer would as much.
That's fair.
So I give it 3 stars. It was a solid movie. But yeah, the best jokes in the movie you and Ken have
Remind
quoted.
me of your starring system again. It's a 5-star system for you, Jackson?
Except Shawshank Redemption got 11 out of 5.
Okay.
Because I thought that movie was good enough for 2 5-star reviews.
I feel like maybe the passage of time has hurt this film for you. I feel like maybe the pacing of the movie is a little bit different than what youngsters like Jackson Williams are accustomed
I'm fine
to.
with pacing. I just heard the jokes. I knew the punchline. Holding that ball like an egg.
Candlesticks are always nice. Maybe find out where they're registered. Get them a nice place setting. All right, let's go 2. It's good. That's good. I held it like an egg.
And he scrambled that.
All right, that's fair. It's your opinion, not Matt Murphy's opinion. I think it's a fine classic. So I watched A Complete Unknown, Bob Dylan, biopic. I kind of knew the backstory of Bob Dylan. I knew, his transition from folk to a more mainstream artist. So I felt like I knew the story. It was an insane performance by Timothée Chalamet. I don't know if he won. Did he win the Oscar for that? I don't know if he won the Oscar for that or not. If he didn't, he should have.
Timothée Chalamet?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think he did.
He was nominated.
Yeah, he was nominated. But he had a great year last year. Did you ever see Dune 2?
I did not see Dune 1.
Ooh.
I have to draw a line somewhere.
Why? Those movies are good.
I tried to read that book when I was in high school, and I just
don't worry about the book. I haven't read the book. I love the movies.
And then I saw the original with Sting in it. I will kill him.
This is much better done.
Okay. Well, I trust you, and maybe that's down the road. I watched that. It's fine. I'm going to give that 14 3/4 Murphys. So, and that is on the Murphy scale. If you don't know the Murphy scale, I don't know what to tell you. So then there's Jack and Jill, which was my punishment movie. I was supposed to watch A Complete Unknown last week. I did not watch A Complete Unknown last week. And as a punishment on the Matt Murphy Madcap Movie Mayhem movie review, you have to watch a sucky film. And the sucky film that was selected for me was Jack and Jill. It is an Adam Sandler movie. It is awful. I don't think it's the worst movie that I've ever seen, but I can't remember one that was worse. It was uncomfortable from the first moment of the film. It stars Adam Sandler as Jack and Adam Sandler as Jill. They are twins. They play it. He plays it completely straight, which makes it way worse. He plays a woman that eventually wants to find love because they believe that that's the way they get him away. Because Jack is frustrated with Jill because she's annoying, and she eventually goes out with Al Pacino, and he falls in love with her because I don't even want to describe the movie to you. It's so bad. It is it's not 100. It's 91 minutes of pure hell. It made me uncomfortable throughout the entire film. Not more so than the last portions of the film when I watched Al Pacino dancing around a Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
I have the Dunkin' Donuts commercial pulled up.
What do you got? Go, hit it. Give me 20 good seconds of the Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, stop for a second. Did you catch in the movie references there? That's,
that's say hello to my little friend.
That's Scarface. That's Attica, which is what was that, Serpico, or maybe it's Attica. And then there was Scent of a Woman was in there. Hoorah!
And it's, this might be the best part of the whole movie.
Might be the best part of the whole film. It's an awful movie. I would not wish it on your worst enemy. Do not watch it. It gets 1/2 Murphy. Because there's no 0 in the Murphy scale. So
no 0. Would you give it a 0 if you could?
I would if I could, but there's just no 0 in the Murphy scale. So you get 1/2 of a Murphy. 53 after the hour. That is the Madcap Murphy Mayhem movie review on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Can't get enough.
Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. PainIsBad.com is the website, PainIsBad.com. I encourage you to check out Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley. You know, I like to say I made the switch to Dr. Mitch, and I did years ago. I decided that I wanted to go with the best, and Dr. Mitchell is simply the best. If you have back pain, neck pain, knee pain, hip pain, elbow pain, wherever it hurts, sciatica, bulging disc, herniated disc, they can help you through the incredible spinal decompression technology available to them at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. It's as simple as this. If you hurt, you're going to take pills to try to alleviate it. You're going to even resort to spinal injections to try to block the pain. And you know what? Last resort's always that surgery. Let's get away from any of these choices and go to the Wellness Institute of Nashville and allow them to help you. And as an incentive, $12 Big Daddy Trump special, comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, and your first treatment. PainIsBad.com or 615-246-5009. Efficient heating and cooling, friends. Jeff Eddy wants to get with you. He needs to get to that heating unit. If you've not been maintenanced as of yet, you need to be because, it's just going to get colder. Your heating unit is going to work harder and harder, and it needs to work as efficiently as possible to save you money, obviously, and it's the best way to avoid costly repairs and breakdowns. The bottom line is this. You'll never pay more than $125 for any repair work, or rather maintenance work done on your property, whether you have 2, 3, or even more units. They will maintenance them at that cost, $125 or less. Secondarily, if they have to come out for any other reason, you're going to waive the service fee because that's their maintenance guarantee in season, in the same season for your heating unit. The savings stack up because your unit's going to run more efficiently as a result. Now, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem, and if the time comes, they'll advise you as to what to replace with. If you find yourself in need of repair, call Efficient Heating and Cooling, 615-784-4424 or efficienthvac.net. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Tom Homan, protecting the United States of America, correcting the error of unchecked mass migration, said this weekend, we're just getting started. We're bringing 10,000 more agents on. If you think the numbers look good this year, wait till next year. You've not seen bleep yet. I absolutely love that energy. Jackson, I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
See you tomorrow, Brother Murphy.
Take care. Take care to all of you. If you're listening, wherever you might be listening, give your loved ones a hug for me. We'll see you then at 3 o'clock. So long, everybody.